Now tune into the biggest ever. YMCMB, Tunchi Lee, Young Angel, Young Lion, man. Y'all boys get on the track with Onika Mirage and y'all still dying, man. What's up? We in this bitch. This ain't gonna be the first time that I do numbers on 2 crutches. Seen more plaques than 2 brushes. Until I'm at the pearly white gates, I gotta move something, do something. All meetings happen in person, so they can't prove nothing. No,
let's get ready to rumble!
What's going on? It's your boy Ryan Fraser in the building, Boxing Talk Up North, and we back with another one, man. It's Friday. Obviously, we got a couple fights tomorrow, but let's talk about it, man. Previews and predictions. It's a stay busy weekend in boxing. Obviously, I don't think there's I think there's probably 2 fights that are very meaningful in a sense of, the winner can obviously move on to bigger fights, but outside of that, it's kind of like a lot of free fights, which is good, a lot of filler fights, which is good, and just a lot of action, and could be possibly upsets, and upsets in boxing are always a good thing. That's something that I think a lot of us want to see more often. But shout out to everybody in the building, man. First of all, if you just came in, you know what to do, man, and if you ain't never been here before, make sure you smash that button like Ann Wolf, man. That like button and that subscribe.
Did not really fight her.
Oh, big right hand. 1 punch. That is it. Forget about the count. It is over.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. My guy. Shout out to my guy, Thomas Hill in the building. You already know what it is, brother. Appreciate you, man, for stopping through, showing some love. You know what it is, man. It's a good weekend for boxing, obviously. Sound the horn for my guy, man. Thomas Hill, man. He a vet, and you guys already know about this guy, Thomas Hill. I mean, he everywhere. His boxing, and he gonna break it down with the truth, and that's how I like it, man. Just keep it 1,000 over here, no biases. So shout out to Thomas Hill. He's definitely one of those guys. He gonna keep it 100. But let's talk about the fight. I think most of us will be watching this weekend. Mikaela Mayer versus Sandy Ryan rematch. The first fight was amazing. Those women, they took advantage of an opportunity, and this is why I don't feel bad for Teofimo Lopez. That was his date. That Friday night date that they fought at the Hulu. I think it was the Hulu they fought at. That was Teofimo Lopez's date. And I'm not saying if he takes the date, his future's a little different, but I'm just saying, look how they took advantage of opportunity. These women, they went out there, they had a good storyline leading up to the fight, with the coaches. Obviously, that's something that happens in boxing a lot more than we think. When other fighters come into to certain gyms, they might be in around your weight, and you might be looking at it like, oh shoot, they come in here to take what's mine, and we might be fighting soon. So I mean, this does happen. This situation was obviously publicized through Mikaela Mayer, as she felt, betrayed by her team, and she left her team, and man, it's turned into a whole spiral. Then we had we had Sandy Ryan get the paint, walking out the hotel room, the paint, like it was just it was just something on top of another. And shout out to Oscar in the building, my guy Oscar. I know, brother, it's been a minute since I've been up on here live, but shout out to you, man. Give me that horn, bro. What happened there? Can't be disrespecting. But yeah, basically, Sandy Ryan, she got the paint thrown at her, coming out the hotel room. So a lot of people thought, oh shoot, Mikaela Mayer out here trying to set up Sandy Ryan. I don't even know. We haven't even gotten any proof on that stuff and what really happened. So yeah, it's just been one of those type of fights where the lead up led up to the fight being good. Like sometimes we get a lot of talking in these press conferences, we get a lot of drama, and then the fights are duds, man. The fights are either one-sided or just boring. This was the total, like this was everything. We got the drama, we got the lead up, and then the fight was amazing too. Like the fight was really good. And Mikaela Mayer, she squeaks out the win. And people are saying it's controversial. I don't think it's controversial when it's a close fight. it was a close fight. You know what I'm saying? Sandy Ryan, she was man, she was banging, and Mikaela Mayer, she was in there boxing, really boxing her ass off. So shout out to those two women. I love that fight. You know, Teofimo Lopez, that was, I'm pretty sure, the day he was supposed to quote unquote fight Brian Norman Jr., which obviously I don't think he was gonna do that, but that was the quote unquote date. And he just didn't like it because it was on a Friday night and not a Saturday night. And it's like, bro, now look at these women. Now they got a Saturday night show, Las Vegas, Nevada rematch, and they the headlines in Las Vegas show because of what they did in New York City on your date. So that's all I'm saying is they took advantage of an opportunity, and now they got a main event, and it's gonna be a great card. It's gonna be a great card, man. Shout out to Thomas Hill. He said, "Yeah, we keeps it 1 million. Yep, no biases. God has no respecters. Neither should we. Yep, down the middle. The promotion. I have to be, man. Yeah, man, we got to be because too many promotional gangbangers out here, man. That stuff is funny to me. I don't know how people do that, man. Love promotional companies. Like, I don't think we should do that type of stuff at all, man. But yeah, basically, I think let me break down the fight, man. I think that Sandy Ryan's a great fighter. I think Mikaela Mayer is also a great fighter. Obviously, Sandy Ryan is the more natural welterweight. Mikaela Mayer moves up, and she looked better at welterweight. To be honest, Mikaela Mayer, I was surprised, and I think this is her better weight. So I don't know. I think she's more acclimated this time around. The second time, I've been saying lately, rematches usually go to the person who won first, and it's funny that I say that. And most recently, Dmitry Bivol, he just beat Arthur Beterbiev, and it was one of those things where I didn't think he was going to win, but he did. So shout out to Bivol, who definitely he's exceeding everybody's expectations. So Bivol, outside of him, rematches have been won by the person who's won the first fight usually. And we like, just think about it, folks. When's the last trilogy we seen? And that's because the rematches aren't being won by the other guy. So trilogies, they're far and few. We thought Tyson Fury could get a win over Usyk to force a trilogy. He didn't. Shout out to Bivol. He got a win over Beterbiev, so they'll have a trilogy. But I'm just saying, Mikaela Mayer is more acclimated to the weight now. I felt she boxed better. I thought her output was better than Sandy Ryan, and I feel like this time around she'll be more ready for the fight. She'll be like, she's acclimated to the weight, so I think that's a huge thing. So she doesn't have to worry about the gas tank. I just thought Sandy Ryan is the stronger fighter, but Mikaela Mayer is a dog, man. Like, she wasn't really hurt in that fight, and neither was Sandy Ryan for the most part. I never seen her hurt, but I just felt like Michaela's activity won her that fight, and I think this time around it'll win her the fight. And I think she'll do it a little easier. So I'm going with Mikaela Mayer to win a decision. Um, it'll be interesting to see how the fight goes. I mean, Sandy Ryan can definitely win. Like, Sandy Ryan, she's been in the ring with some good fighters too. Like, I mean, shoot, a lot of us thought she beat it's not Cynthia. Man, I forget who she fought. Jessica McCastle. Sorry, Jessica McCastle. That was a draw, I believe. But like, I watched that fight and I thought Sandy Ryan won. I think that was one of McCastle's last fights, and I felt like Sandy won, but it was a draw. So I feel like this time around, Mayer is gonna be more dominant in a sense. It's gonna look prettier. The fight. It's not gonna be as choppy as the first fight. I think she'll box better in spurts. But I think Sandy Ryan, she got that punch in her to make the fight, scary for Mikaela Mayer. I'm not gonna say she's gonna knock her out, but she got the power that could change the fight. And anybody knows that in boxing, all it takes is one. And when you got somebody who could punch, they always gonna have, what I'm saying, a chance to win a fight because it just one punch changes everything. Shout out to my guy Oscar. He said I had mixed feelings on the weight for Mayer versus Ryan rematch. Norman Jr. stepping up in competition, looking good. Shushu looking like a skeleton from Nacho Libre. Mayor looking like a grandma, full dress. Ah, man, damn! Don't do that to don't do that to Mikaela Mayer, man. Nah, man, nah. I think I agree with you on the shoo thing. That's why Shoo got to come over here and get this Nick Ball work, yo, before he move up. If you're gonna move up, but we'll see. We'll see what goes on with.
Yeah.
We'll see what's going on with Shoo, man. But yeah, let's talk about your guy, Brian Norman Jr., man. He's returning from an injury. Um, I think I was on when I was on, man. I was on the Box Voice. I want to say Tuesday or Monday, and Senior. I guess Senior was talking to Ness and telling them how they were flying in on Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? They flew in on Wednesday. And I thought that was interesting because I'm like, they were from Atlanta, Eastern time. They flying over to the West Coast time for Thursday. That's kind of like close cutting it for me. But then Norman Sr. said that Quavo's doing the same thing, but he's flying out of Puerto Rico. So I think like this might be a fight where like, Norman Jr., he's in America already. He don't have to fly across, you know what I'm saying? I mean, well, Puerto Rico is a part of America, but he's not flying in from an island. So he might have better legs. He might be more ready. And from what I know, Junior was doing a little bit of camp in Las Vegas at Salas's gym. So it's like, man, he might be more acclimated already, where Quavos is coming in here, off the plane Thursday. He's got to get acclimated to the time, the desert, the hills, altitude. Those things might play in this fight. So I'm picking Brian Norman Jr., late stoppage. I looked at Quavos. Let me pull him up, man. I hate to use BoxRec, but it tells a story sometimes, And if you could just follow with me, we'll break them down, man. I think it's very telling when you don't fight out of your city too much. And then now look, now you got to fight the big stage, man. All right, let's go. Let me see if I can screen share this. But yeah, make sure y'all smash that like button, man. And join the Discord too. If you're trying to get to the Discord, I got it in the channel. So you'd have to subscribe to the channel. Join the Discord, man. I'm gonna drop those bets tonight in the Discord. I'll put it in the chat too in a second here. But yeah, let me pull this page up. Share screen right quick for Derek. All right, take a look how that look there for y'all. All right, let's go. Let's tell the story here. So yeah, you got his box strike up. So obviously he's fighting, his Brian Norman Jr. So his fight before was Panama City, 2-star fighter. But his fight before, 1-star fighter, bro. Panama City. So I think these are build-em fights because he lost here, right? But the dude he lost to, split decision, he ain't even a 2-star fighter. He a 1-star fighter too. Anyways, I'm just saying the competition ain't matching up. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll look at Brian Norman's. Like, them stars matter to me only because of what you've done lately. Obviously, Santillan was the big one. But the fighter who I think it was a no contest. Like, this guy could probably be a 3-star. Boca Czechia. He was on Pro Box a few times. That was the fight I think was stopped because of the head clash. But he had Norman Jr. looking, shaky legs. And then Quentin Randall was the good win for me for Norman Jr. because Quentin Randall's tough, man. And he was undefeated at the time. So all I'm saying is, Norman Jr. has just fought the better competition. That's basically all I'm saying. So that's why I got him winning. And yeah, I think I'm gonna pick him, stoppage, late stoppage. This is a 12 rounder because it is for a title, so he's got more time to get it done. They've been doing good sparring. And like I said, he was already in Vegas at Salas's gym training. So Norman Jr.'s got more acclimation to the altitude than Cuevas. But yeah, I'm thinking Norman Jr. gonna get him out of there. Not early. I think late. I think Norman Jr. sometimes he has trouble with figuring out his opponents early in fights. But shout out to Jay Bird on Instagram. He said boxing is an individual sport. No mulligans or do-overs. All these rematch clauses and trilogy fights is just promoters trying to squeeze more money. I feel Bivol lost a second as well. Nah, third one. Yeah, yeah. Nah, you know what? Yeah, you're right, man. Promoters are gonna protect their champions. You're not just gonna let somebody walk away with a belt. You're gonna give them another opportunity to get a rematch. That's why Eddie Hearn. That's why so many champs love him, because Eddie Hearn always got a rematch clause. I mean, I'm pretty sure Sandy Ryan, who we're talking about right now, was rematching with Mikaela Mayer. She had a rematch clause because of Eddie Hearn. That's just what he does. He puts rematch clauses in almost all his champions fights, and he just secures them that chance to get back. And same with Dimitri Bivol. I'm pretty sure he's with Matchroom too. So that's another guy who had a rematch clause. But I think that was all built in from Turkey Al-Ashiki, to be honest. The undisputed, like, because he wanted the trilogy with Fury as well. Fury's not signed to Matchroom, but yeah, I think it is. It's promotional. So it's money, of course. Why wouldn't it be? I mean, that's what boxing's all about, yo. Trying to squeeze every dollar out. That's what they about over there, man. But yeah, let's go to the next topic. So Shushu Carrington, as Oscar was saying, he looking skeletal out there. He looking drained. I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with Shushu, because Shushu is calling out for the champs. He said he wants to fight Nick Ball. He is in the WBC rankings. I think this is the WBC eliminator, so he's obviously in line for Stephen Fulton. I don't know if he beats Fulton. I think Fulton's too experienced just at this. Like, this is the thing with Shushu. It's like, man, you're probably like in a timeline you have to be fighting for titles now, where you're sitting at your career. But no, let's take a look at the top. Like, that division, super featherweight, it's just top heavy. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of dudes who are very, very good. And I don't know, Shushu Carrington can beat the top of the top. I guess that's what I'm saying, because that division's top heavy. All those champs, I don't know if he can beat any of them champs, including my guy Nick Ball, because y'all know how I feel about Nick Ball. So let's look at the ring rankings. This is the ring. Nobody has the ring yet at featherweight, because yeah, we don't have no undisputed champs or anything like that, unified champs. But the ring has Angelo Leo as number 1, and there's Rafael Espinoza number 2. Let me make sure y'all can see that. Nick Ball number 3, Stephen Fulton number 4. This is the ring's rankings. Number 5, Luis Lopez. Obviously, he's a good fighter too, former champ. Angelo Leo caught him with that knockout of the year candidate last year. Brandon Figueroa at number 6, and Mirko Coolio. I don't know if Shushu Carrington can even beat who's number 9, Robesi. Like, what do we think? Can Shushu beat Robesi at this point? You know what I'm saying? Omar, yeah, Trinidad. I think he could beat Trinidad, but like Robesi, who's at number 9. To me, Robesi's losses to Espinoza were, I hope they weren't career ending. I hope Robesi comes back, but I don't know if Shushu could beat Figueroa or Lopez. Stephen Fulton, I don't got him beating any of the champs. Stephen Fulton, Nick Ball, Espinoza, or Leo. So I just don't know where this guy Shushu Carrington is gonna go next. But let's take a look. Like, let's say he moves up and weight to 30, because 30 to me is even a little You know what I'm saying? 30 at the top too is pretty dangerous. So now we got, Navarrete, Oshaki Foster, Kakasi, Lamont Roach, who's I don't think is coming back. Shout out to Lamont Roach. He had success at 35. I think he's gonna stay there. Joe Cordino, who's moving up apparently too. Conceição, Nunez, Rocky Hernandez. We're not gonna say his name. Albert Bell. All right, he ain't beating Albert Bell off the top. That dude too tall. But I think Albert Bell moved up to 35 too. So I need to update this list. But let's look at the guys who are here. Oh, Ray Ford's not in here. I think Ray Ford should be on here also. But I guess let's look at the BC because that's where Shushu Carrington is, in the BC. So we'll look at the BC. Let's look at his division first. Featherweight. We know Stephen Fulton is the champ. He's the number 1 contender. Okay, Carlos Castro is number 2. Figueroa is 3 because he dropped Luis Neri. Does he beat Neri? Yeah, I think he could beat Neri. So I think, yeah, he beats everybody in the BC. I don't know about Figueroa. Y'all think about Figueroa. You think Figueroa could beat Bruce Shushu after his last performance against Stephen Fulton? But let's say Shushu takes that number 1 spot, moves up to 30. He'll probably get a top 5, ranking. Okay, so he's going against Nunez, Gassio. This guy too. Yakubuov, Ray Ford, Conceição. I guess he can take Robson's spot. But Ray Ford, I don't think he beating Ray Ford. Nunez, I don't even know about that. And then Oshaki Foster. Like that's, man. I just think Shushu Carrington just in a tough place, and he's kind of like what I look like Xander Zayas as right now. Xander Zayas is gonna have to fight for a title because Xander Zayas has just been on that road for so long. He's gonna have to take the Fedora fight, whether or not he's ready or not. And I think Shushu Carrington's in that same boat. He's just gonna have to take the Stephen Fulton fight if the WBC orders it, or shout out to Nick Ball. I think Nick Ball will bring him over to the UK, and we'll put the beats on Shushu. That's what he really want. But it is what it is, man. I got no hate for none of these dudes. I love them all, bro. But we just got to make sure Shushu Carrington he ready for it, man, because you can't be coming around playing around here like Devin and Ryan, bro. He gonna get spanked by my guy Nick Ball. This ain't gonna be no joke. This ain't gonna be this.
Doing what I do. All white, looking nice. Okay, come through.
I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking the fight serious or not.
Ain't gonna be that, bro. Nick Ball y'all saw what Nick Ball did to TJ. Kick that man. Said, get off me, dog. Like it's gonna be one of them things, man. Yo, shout out to the Dog Herbie. Yo, it's been a minute, bro. But Shushu out here calling my guy Nick Ball. You don't even know what he get himself into. You didn't see the way we kicked TJ Duheny, bro. And anyway, too, he don't know what it's gonna be like. He gonna literally get kicked in that ring too, body slammed and everything. Ain't gonna be no Japanese ref there to save you because it's gonna be in Riyadh, bro. Gonna be in Riyadh, I tell you. So I just think that Shushu Carrington, he's in a tough spot, but you gotta take a big fight, man. And whether it's Nick Ball, it's probably gonna be Stephen Fulton because that's where he's lined up to in the WBC. I just think, man, he ain't beating none of them dudes. Like, I don't think he could beat the champs. And that's no slight to him. I just think that at the top, that division's really good. Really, really good, man. He said Nick Ball's going to be Austrian. Yeah. Oh, man. Shout out to my guy, Dr. Boxing Talk. Make sure y'all go check him out, man. He usually popping up every morning, Monday to Friday, usually around 8 a.m. And then he has a late show too. 2 shows a day, man. So go check out Dr. Boxing Talk. You always got the good content over there, man. And he'll let you come in there and try to talk your shit, man. Just know you got to be on it. The P's and Q's. Don't come in there and telling lies, man. You're gonna get exposed. So that's what that is. But yeah, the next topic. So Shushu, we got William Zepeda versus Tevin Farmer. Is William Zepeda on upset alert? Down in Cancun, Golden Boy card. is William Zepeda on upset alert. Shout out to Tevin Farmer for coming back for the rematch. Tevin Farmer had a really good fight in the first fight. You know, he was extremely competitive, put William Zepeda on his pockets. It was a good fight. I thought William Zepeda just each landed more cleaner shots. You know, he was just more, his work rate was just better. I feel like that's why he won the fight. But that's William Zepeda. That's who he is. I think as long as he's doing that, he's always going to be a threat in some sort of way. You know, until you can find a guy who can neutralize him. I don't know if Tevin Farmer got it, man. I think Tevin Farmer's kind of over the hill. You know, Tevin Farmer, I love him. I felt his comeback was really, really good. You know, he had success. He looked good in the Murataya fight. You know, some people even thought he won that fight. And he looked good in the Zepeda fight too, like he did. So he literally revived his career, you know, because he had a couple fights where it weren't on TV, no club shows. He built himself back up, got the top rank call, and he looked good and got the Golden Boy call. Now he getting a rematch. So shout out to Tevin Farmer, man. He definitely could show you that you could build back up. So I think a lot of people need to understand that. And just really give that man his props, man. He did what he did. And I just think Tevin Farmer, he's maxed out. That's all I think it is. But like if Zepeda loses this fight, it's a wrap for him, man. We can throw Zepeda under the bus, pack him up, leave him. He was a fraud then, because you know he's the one out here. I think it was not Oscar, it was him, somebody from his team, maybe it was coach, saying Shakur Stevenson is the one who's ducking the fight. I don't believe that, because I really feel like, you know, very few people call out Shakur Stevenson. Like we talking about some dude on that UK card, that Nick Ball card, who was fighting. We're like, yo, this guy called out Shakur. Like that dude is calling out Shakur because he needs to call Shakur. He needs a payday. He needs that type of money. He needs that type of name. But the names, the dudes who are in and around Shakur's status, who are at the top, they ain't calling Shakur. They ain't. They just ain't, bro. The other champs, you know, shout out to Keyshawn. You know, they are Fortnite buddies. They Call of Duty buddies. They're not gonna call each other out. But you know, Tank ain't saying Shakur. Shout out to Warlock Boxing in the building. You know, Tank ain't saying Shakur. You know, Lomachenko ain't saying Shakur. You know, the champs just ain't saying it, man. You need your horns. Warlock Boxing in the building. So I don't understand it, man. I don't think William Zepeda tried to force that mandatory, or else that he would have been fighting Shakur probably. That we would have been talking about that. That date would have been lined up right now. But no, Zepeda didn't force it. He didn't try to force it. He didn't even try to get in the fight with Shakur. You know what I'm saying? And I think Shakur Stevenson, I don't blame him. He's at a point where he's like, I'm not gonna press the fight no more, because all you do is talk. None of you dudes want to really sign the contract and fight. So, you know, say whatever you want about Shakur Stevenson, his hands breaking and stuff like this, and he's pillow fisted. Well, if he's so pillow fisted, why isn't anybody signing up to beat him? Because I feel like if you beat Shakur Stevenson, that's a huge name on you. Because I think he's a 3-division champ. He's known, like everybody who talks about him talks about his defensive prowess. So he's a defensive fighter. You go in there and beat a defensive mastermind, a guy who's great at range. You know, that's a huge plus on your resume. And plus, not a lot of people is calling out Shakur Stevenson. So if you one of them ones that called him out and did it, you looked at a little different to me. I'm like, all right, because the Shakur Stevenson, not everybody's saying his name out here. I don't get it, man. If you guys are saying that he's pillow fisted, then would you be worried about fighting Shakur Stevenson if he's pillow fisted? You know, obviously the fight may not look a certain way, but now we know Shakur Stevenson is working with Riyadh Season and Eddie Hearn, so the money's probably going to be good. I mean, Josh Pally, you know, he said he got to quit his job now. He ain't got to be an electrician no more. He a full-time boxer because he took that fight. So, I mean, the money is life-changing. So Shakur Stevenson, he also said, I'm pretty sure he said it's one of his best paydays, Josh Padley. I mean, that ain't no disrespect to Padley, but he ain't, you know, Artem. He ain't Oscar Valdez. You know, he hasn't accomplished as much as those guys. So, I mean, I don't know, man. when Zepeda was or his coach, whoever was talking, was capping, and they thought, that's how they're gonna get some more buzz maybe for this fight. But it's gonna backfire because they the mandatory. I don't know how long he gonna be the mandatory, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna get ordered by the WBC. Probably next, probably after this fight, if he can get through. But I do got Williams Zepeda winning this fight. I heard even some people saying stoppage. I don't think he's gonna stop Tevin Farmer. I think Tevin Farmer still his experience will get him through this fight. Like, he's mentally very, very good. He's got great defense. He even showed us one of the, if you go back and watch Tevin Farmer, he was doing like Pernell Winiker stuff. Like, he had the one highlight where he was making Buddy miss in the corner, and I was like, yo, whoa, that's some Pernell stuff. And that was back when he was calling out Tank. But shout out to Tevin Farmer, man. He's one of those talents that were not spoke about enough. Great fighter, man. Love his style. I just don't think he's gonna win. I think he's kind of over the hill. And I think William Zepeda knows it and understands it, that they could take advantage of this fight. So I think that's why they took it. Now they want to make, Tevin Farmer look bad because, Tevin Farmer made him look bad. Let's be honest here. Zepeda should have won that fight easy because of his, where he was going, his trajectory. They were using Tevin Farmer as a tester for Shakur Stevenson. Let's be honest here. So I just think this time around it'll be a little different. They'll turn up the heat because they know that they're gonna have to see Shakur Stevenson. So they're gonna need a good performance, or else we ain't believing in William Zepeda. We ain't gonna believe in him, man. We ain't believing in that guy already. You know what I'm saying? He been the mandatory of every sanctioning body, and he don't want to fight no champ. Like, bro, what are you doing? And I don't understand it, man. Because like, you want to get that bread? You want to be a champ? You want to be like your boy? You want to be like Cinnamon?
Payday. You want payday? I know that.
You got to be a champ, bro. Because we all know you got another little guy in that division who can pull some money named Tank Davis. So why not, man? I don't know. I don't get it. Oscar, he said, I don't know. I was really hopeful on Farmer, but kind of doubtful after weighing. Yeah, he looked kind of, I don't know. His energy was different, but I don't know. Some of these fighters, they got that poker face, to be honest. So we'll see how it goes. Man. Shout out to Tevin Farmer, man. I ain't got nothing bad to say about the dude. He a great fighter, man. He a great fighter, great heart. Shout out to the Bronze Bomber. Yeah, I know my guy Doc is probably happy about this news. Yo, Wilder's back, man. June 27th with BLK Prime. I like this look. I was a little worried. Like, shout out to Devin Haney. I mess with him. I mess with Devin Haney because, from a fighter standpoint, he do take on all comers. But, I didn't like how they wanted to do that. Like, they announced the BLK Prime thing, and then they literally, like, a week later went to Riyadh to go chase the Ryan Garcia fight. Like, they literally did that. So I was like, bro, like, what are you guys doing, man? Like, you're talking about we gonna go over here, build another stream, pro black thing, great, but hold the money. Yeah, we can't leave that. I guess, sorry guys. It's like, man, what are we doing? Like, I knew BLK Prime was probably more geared for Wilder because Wilder needs it in a sense to build his career back up. But I thought, Devin Haney, that's a good start, bro. Like, try to show some of these young fighters that they don't need to go to the major not label, but networks, man. And I guess I'm synonymous to this with excuse me, with the rap game, because shout out to my guy, my Canadian Tory Lanez. He left the labels, bro. He was independent, and the man did some craziness over COVID. I don't know if y'all remember that he released that album over an NFT where he sold it for like $1, and then he basically allowed people to resell it as long as he got shares. And I think he said he made like over $1 million anyways off an NFT album. Anyways, he was independent. My whole point is he was independent, and he made the money without the big labels. He cracked the game, and I feel like Devin Haney had a chance to crack the game of boxing because he could have really took BLK Prime. They like mid tier. He could have took them to another level, kind of like pro box in a way. You know what I'm saying? And maybe young black fighters, because I know Devin Haney promotions. He got a promotional team, so he got like fighters over there too. He could have started his whole stable over there. I mean, we still looking at money, Floyd Mayweather, like, why you not putting all your fighters on these PBC cards? I mean, shout out to him. He finally did on the Fedora one. He put 2 of them on there. But we've been looking at him like, why is Cromell fighting on Jorge Masvidal's undercard? Like, why is Cromell fighting in Philadelphia with Danny Garcia promotion? Why is he not on Amazon? So I just think Devin Haney, he could have led away for those new fighters because, with Dana White coming in, the TKO group coming in, they're gonna snatch up a lot of talent. Not necessarily the fighters with big names, but they're gonna snatch up the dudes who can't get the big contracts. The guys who are gonna make steady dough and make a living off of it. It's not a lot of money, but I mean, if you fight 4 times a year and you making 25K, y'all could do the math. That's 6 figures, man. To box. Some people gotta work 12-hour shifts, or Monday to Friday to do that. You don't even gotta work Monday to Friday. You essentially gotta work. Okay, you gotta train, yeah, but your work date is every 3 months. 4 times a year. So I don't know. I think it's great what Wilder's doing. Shout out to Deontay Wilder for getting back into boxing. I just hope now his mind is clear, man. I hope he's gone back to his roots. And I really hope he would, just get things done right with Mark Breland, man. That was the man who, I'm not gonna say made you, but he taught you the basics of what you do better 1-2. He perfected that with you. He didn't need to add all these layers to your game like Malik Scott's trying to do. I think Malik Scott is just making it worse because sometimes when somebody does something so good, you can't integrate other things, man. Like we all saw Ben Simmons, bro. Like this dude actually tried to get a jump shot, but he was better when he wasn't shooting jump shots, when he wasn't even trying to shoot. You know what I'm saying? He was out there playing all-star level with no jump shot because nobody told him, yo, bro, you got to start shooting. It's when people told Ben Simmons to start shooting is when he turned trash. So sometimes we just got to let people be great at what they do. And Deontay Wilder has got the best 1-2 in boxing I've almost seen ever, man, because it was putting people on their ass left, right, and center. And now he's at a point where he's had a couple losses. And yo, what's good, man? What's going on, Richard? But yeah, he's had a couple losses. I just don't know if Deontay Wilder is gonna have a big run, but I think he could do something like the old great RIP George Foreman. Like George Foreman had a little run where he went and fought. I don't want to say tomato cans, but like he went and took the easy route. You know what I'm saying? And he took a couple easy fights, got confidence builder, and then we saw the old George. Old George knockout out dudes. Same thing with his hands. The power in boxing goes last, man. The power goes last. So I just think that Deontay Wilder, get back to your 1-2, man. Stop trying to do the spin Rooney. Don't do the head stuff like that. That never helped you, bro. And we don't remember you for that. We remember you for the 1-2. Oscar says he's trying to teach an old dog new tricks. Sometimes you got to work with what you got and don't add more stuff. Just exactly, bro. Yeah, just polish it. Just make it look better. You know what I'm saying? Not even look better, bro, but like just perfect it for him. Like say, yo, you can get the 1-2 off from here or there. Like show him new ways of how to perfect that punch. I just don't think that Malik Scott's really done well for Wilder. And I know they friends, man, and all, but you see, I know he's trying to cut him off a little bit because he's his buddy, but nah, you just got to let it go, man, because it's not working. Mark Breland, shout out to him. That man took a lot of slander for for the Wilder losses. I don't know why people was blaming Mark. Yeah, I heard some crazy things about Mark Breland. People say they said he spiked Wilder's water. They said why would he throw the towel in? He was with Fury's side, bro. The people were saying the most dumbest things, and I'm like, man, y'all don't know Mark Breland, like one of the best in the sport. This dude, like, you guys really think he would do that to Wilder? A dude that he's homegrown? Nah, man. Like Mark Breland, probably one of the best amateurs ever. Shout out to him, bro. Shout out to my pop because my pop almost fought me. Bro, shout out to Mark Breland, man. He's definitely one of them ones. Like he had brought us a talent in Deontay Wilder to the top. And basically people try to just shit all over him when Wilder lost. It don't make sense to me because Mark Breland wasn't in there taking the punches. You know what I'm saying? Mark Breland wasn't in there. Honestly, Mark Breland probably saved Wilder by throwing in that towel. He threw a towel in because Wilder was getting the pause. No, for real, Oscar. Yo, for real. What's going on, my guy? Everyone in the building. You can't count out that kind of power. No, for real. Like, the power goes last. We know that, cuz. And to be honest, Wilder still got it. I think he still got it. I think he's gun shy about it right now. And that's why I said I hope he goes on this little streak of fighting guys. He can get some knockouts, get his confidence back, because he was most dangerous when he was throwing that thing with bad intentions. Now it looks like he's like half throwing it. He's not really sure. He's not committed. You know, it's not the same. But like it's not the same at all. He's not looking dangerous with it. And guys see that and they smell blood. So they're going after him. And shout out to Joseph Parker because he's kind of the one who started that. Zhang, Zhang was the beneficiary of it too. But I just think Deontay Wilder, he needs some tune-ups. He needs to go back to the drawing board. And I obviously think he's going to do well, man. I don't think that Deontay Wilder is quite done. I'm not going to say that. But if you could think about it, if you can get a couple good wins, get some good knockouts, and shoot, who knows, man? Maybe AJ could do some work on his side and we get that fight. And they both coming in with wins. They coming in with confidence. I don't know, man. Maybe it's a pipe dream, But I guess we'll see. We'll see how it goes because shout out to Deontay Wilder. Definitely the bronze bomber. Doing big things, man. Got mad love for Deontay Wilder. He was a hell of a fighter. He's one of those guys that would just, as soon as you turn on the TV, you know what you're getting. Straight action, bro. You're getting straight action. So I don't want to hear anybody say Deontay Wilder wasn't a time to be alive, because Wilder era was it, bro. It was definitely it. But shout out to Three Lines Promotions up here in Canada. They got an event going on tomorrow night in Hamilton. They got a card. Yeah, man, they doing big things, man. They are the promoters of Ryan Rozecki, who will be fighting in Riyadh season on the Canelo Alvarez undercard. Damn, I gotta message Ryan back. He said he's gonna come on the show. Got to get him back in before he heads up to Riyadh for sure. Let's talk that talk, man. We trying to hear what he's doing, man. I think he's in Dallas right now training, or he might be back. I don't know, but I know for sure. Three Lines Promotion. Here's a card here. I think Tristan Brooks' fight has got canceled from what I saw on his page. And Eric Bassaran, obviously he's not fighting. We interviewed him last week. He's fighting in the WBC Grand Prix, so obviously he's not gonna be fighting in this fight. But yeah, John Michael and Brett, they fighting for the Canadian super middleweight title. Shout out to them, man, making that proud, that Canadian belt. And yeah, Three Lines Promotions, they doing big things, man. Obviously here, the big fight for them, Ryan Rozecki and Battle Jack. Yes, sir. That's a big one for them, They can get the win. Oh, yeah. Canceled. Wilkins Matthew. He's from Eye of the Tiger Boxing, I believe. He fights for the Eye of the Tiger. Wilkins. Stay busy fight. Yeah, just a couple of boxing fights going on here in Canada, you know. And then what else we got, man? Yeah, man. That's pretty much it. You know, it's gonna be a good weekend. It's gonna be a good weekend. Lots of boxing for sure. I'm not gonna really watch that one in Mexico, Cancun. What's good, Oscar?
What's going
What's going on, my guy? My guy in the building. Yo, you mute yourself. Uh oh, you must have lost reception. Yeah, shout out to Wilder too, man. That's
yo
my guy.
yo?
Yeah, yeah, I hear you now.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
What's
like I just usually go on live, man, and I'm like, man, I'm working. What the hell?
ah yes, sir. Getting that work in.
Ryan Rosenki though, man, that guy looks nice. You know, Badu Jack a little hurt because he's been out the rank for so long.
Yeah, Badu Jack. I feel like he's been like out for like what 2 years now.
At a minimum. I think it's been a little bit
Yeah,
more because like they go out, but we just count the years. We don't really count the months. I think he's
you're
been out a
right.
little bit longer. So, and I don't know, man. What was Ryan being ducked for so long?
Yeah, he's supposed to fight Noel. I forget that French dude's last name. He's supposed to fight
Man,
him
fuck that
twice.
guy, bro. No, fuck that guy. Don't even mention him. That guy ducked.
Yeah,
That guy
yeah, he
ducked
did. He tried to blame Don King, man. That's crazy. He tried to
for two
blame Don
years.
King, and he's trying to say he's suing Don King now. And then now he's like champion in recess somehow. He is too, or something like that.
Yeah,
So I don't
that's
know
what they
how it
said.
worked.
Like Badu Jack, he got called to be the full champion, and the other
Right.
guy got champion in recess because he didn't want to defend his title, and he
Yeah.
had like a kind of like NOA, like you have this amount of time, or you get stripped, and that's what happened. That's
Yep.
literally what happened. But yeah,
Yes.
Ryan, he didn't want to fight him for like what, year and a half?
Yeah. I think they had like 3 dates. Yeah, you're
Yeah, that's
right,
what
man.
kept canceling or kept moving it for some reason.
Yep.
Always had an
Yeah.
excuse.
Yeah. Because I think the last one was supposed to be that Adrian Bronner and Blair Cobbs. They're supposed to headline that one.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
I forgot about that card.
they were supposed to headline, and yeah, it didn't happen. So yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like Ryan Rozecki's been ducked, and like it is what it is. I hope he wins because if he wins, he'll fight. Like that's what I mean. Like he'll move the division. He won't keep it stagnant. Where I think if Badu Jack wins, he's just gonna try to look for the biggest fight.
Yes, which I don't blame him. It's just that's not something I want to see.
Yeah, especially when you got Jay Apatow out here talking about nobody wants to fight him. I know Ryan Rozicki will fight him in a heartbeat.
Oh yeah,
You know, this
bro.
guy
I
talking
don't
about
get that Sardo being ducking. I'm like, I don't get it because after the CBS fight, Sardo was in a restaurant and they interview him there, like the fans. They're
yeah,
like, "What's next?" And he's like, "Well, I gotta defend my mandatories. If not, I'm gonna get stripped. But right after that, I want to go after the champions."
right, right. And I feel like Jay Apatow is doing the same thing. Isn't he fighting his mandatory? So I don't
The
know
next one is a
why.
voluntary.
Oh, it is? That dude's a
Yeah, because
voluntary?
remember Ryan Naika, that counted
Yeah.
as a mandatory
Oh man.
because the other guy stepped down or he was sick, but Ryan Naika was in rank, so he actually counted as a mandatory. The next guy is a voluntary mandatory,
Right,
pretty
right.
much.
That's terrible, man.
So I don't get the duck talks. Like you can't talk bad about Jai Apatow without somebody throwing something at you.
Nah, man. He not fighting the fights we want to see.
Yeah, they don't even gotta be champions. Just like contenders, at least. At least
Yeah.
like I'm not
Yeah,
asking
man.
for like
Yeah,
champions
man.
because they're all busy, but at least a contender.
Yeah, I just think Ryan Rozecki will fight anybody if he wins the belt. But uh I just hope that they don't get in the way. I think if Jay Apatow really want to fight for the unification, just sign up, bro. Just sign up. I
Yeah,
know. I feel like Ramirez will. Like Ramirez, he fought Bivol, right? Didn't he fight Bivol?
yeah, he got his ass whooped. He got
He
stopped, I
did,
think.
but he got in the ring with Bivol, and I feel like Bivol was like that was like I don't want to say prime, but Bivol was more dangerous. He was really
Yeah,
trying
for
to
sure.
stop people. He's a little different now, but so I don't think
It
he
was
was
weird
Doug
because
J. Apataya if he fought Bivol. Like, what the
no,
freak?
exactly. That don't make sense. It's like fighting, I don't know, fighting a champion at 154 and then
Right, right.
unifying and then ducking somebody else. Like that don't make sense. You know what I mean?
What's good, Edwin? What's good, man?
What's good, baby? Hold on, let me fix this.
Yeah, you mic up, brother. Yeah, man. I think Jay
How about now?
Apataya.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he got to fight somebody. Bro, you right, man. Let me take a look at the cruiserweight because there's not a lot of names there, really.
Nah, no. To me, 135 is the worst division for me. But like, one cruiserweight is definitely not the glamour division.
Yeah, yeah.
It's never been looked better like
Oh,
that.
he should fight. He should fight maybe Brandon Clayton. Oh, he's
Yeah.
fighting CBS. Oh, he's fighting CBS actually on that Eubank Jr. and Connor Ben card. He's on the
Oh
undercard
damn.
there.
Who CBS?
CBS and Brandon Clayton. Yeah, they fighting on that card.
Hell yeah.
That's actually a good fight. Nah, man. What's going on, Edwin, man?
What's going on, man? How you doing? Can you hear me loud and clear?
Yeah, you gotta
Is it
tell us
low?
if your man's gonna fight my man's Nick Ball.
Who? Who? Naoya anyway?
Your man's, bro. Yeah, your man's.
Nah. You shouldn't even talk about them dudes in the same sentence. Your boy Nick
What?
Ball's out of. He ain't gonna even last 4 or 5 rounds with him. He's
Oh,
a young
you
son,
must be out your mind, bro.
huh?
That guy, Nick Ball, he gonna put the rough with the. I'm telling you, Nick. Anyway, he's gonna tell his dad when he gets to the corner, yo, throw in the towel. I don't want to fight this guy.
You wrong. You got to. Yo, listen. Whatever you some of that, because I'm gonna tell you right now, when Nick Ball shot himself in the foot by taking TJ Doheny as a measuring stick, and the way TJ Doheny, that old man, had Nick Ball missing, Naoya anyway couldn't miss against TJ Doheny, and Nick Ball couldn't hit him. It was good that an old injury popped up and Nick Ball couldn't continue. Sorry, TJ Doheny couldn't continue because Nick Ball looks like he was about to lose his belt even with that point
Hell no.
deduction.
What? You thought he was losing?
With
No,
that
nah,
point
bro.
deduction,
He wasn't losing.
I was like, oh shit. And there was still some more rounds before the old man gave up to his back. But let me
Nah,
tell
the
you
old
something, right?
man was
Look, check it
drained
out, right?
in the name anyway fight. He was drained. That's what
Nick
that told me.
Nick Ball couldn't even touch TJ Doheny. He was making him look silly. And just remember, now TJ Doheny couldn't touch Naoya anyway. Listen, Stephen Kubo Fulton didn't win 10 seconds of that round. An undefeated fighter, unified champion, looks
You
way
talking
better than
about
that Nick
Styles,
Ball.
man.
Hey yo, and check
I'm
this
talking
out, right?
about when
You want to know?
anyway get in
Wait,
that small ring and he
okay,
can't do
okay,
that
check it out.
running.
Okay, all right. You know what I wanted to know? The perfect thing I wanted to know. What did Nick Ball look like against TJ Doheny? And when I
It's not
was
a
watching
measuring
the
stick
fight,
to me because we want to
right?
do triangle theories. We could do triangle theories if we
No, no,
want
no,
to do
no,
it.
no, 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 not triangle theories. This is just measurement. I said, wait a minute. Who moved up in weight here? Nick Ball looks like the way bigger guy. I remember on the night that TJ Doheny faced Naoya Inoue. Naoya Inoue was looking like the bigger guy. So if I was looking at them standing side by side, and when he entered the ring with Nick Ball, boy, he got problems.
Nah, Nick
They might as
Ball.
well just hand Naoya Inoue that belt.
Nick Ball's like the smallest guy in boxing.
That's okay, and he's gonna get knocked out like the smallest guy in boxing.
Hell no, he getting knocked out from anyway.
Look, I
Anyway,
tell you what. I tell you what. If there's
anyway,
an
not gonna
under,
want to go near that man.
I haven't made a bet since Tyson Fury fought Francis Ngannou. That was the best odds I had, and I put my money on Francis Ngannou that night. That's the last time I placed a bet. And before that, probably 5 years later. If
You
ever
crazy.
they
You
was
really
to
thought he
enter
was
a
gonna
ring,
beat Fury?
huh?
You thought he was gonna beat Fury?
Those were ridiculous odds. What if he did it? And look, he was almost
Hell
close.
no,
I
man.
almost won.
I love when all of them MMA guys come to boxing and get their
I
ass whooped.
know,
I
I know,
love
I
it.
know, I know, but it was like Mike Tyson was in a corner on an island by himself. I was like, damn, look at 1,600. I said, yo, I gotta take that money. So I put my money on fucking, I almost won, bro. But since the
Nah,
last time for that was 5 years, I tell you right now, Nick Ball into the ring with Naoya Inoue, I'm putting my money on Naoya Inoue all day.
hell
All
no. He's too
day. He
small,
will
bro.
destroy that
What
man.
yo, where did he come up from? 108?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
that's
and
where
he's the
one
king at
that's where
122.
okay, let me tell you, that's where 126 shows him what life is. Like
Nah,
we say
nah.
about
Listen,
Crawford, weight
okay, check this
divisions,
out. Look at after that Nick
he's
Ball
going
fight,
way too far.
I got so confident that I said Espinoza, he won't be able to hide his torso from Naoya Inoue. Stephen Kubo Fulton don't want that smoke. He'll run. And the only
Bro,
one is
what?
Angelo Leo that I think that'll give him a fight. Nick Ball
No,
will
they
be in a
all
coma
smoke
by
him
the fifth
almost.
round.
Nah, they all smoke
Listen,
him. All
listen.
of them.
I'm gonna tell you guys why I agree with them. In my opinion, if you look at the way Naoya Inoue was brought up, he was never brought as the A side fighter. Every fight he had from the start of his career, he came in as the B side.
Yeah.
Made a lot of upsets and gave himself a name and the platform that he has to top rank.
Nah, I agree with you, but he ain't fighting nobody right now. That's
No,
his
because
problem right
nobody
now.
wants
That's
to
true.
fight him. Nobody wants
Oh,
to fight
stop,
him.
stop, stop,
No,
stop.
no,
Nah, nah,
stop.
nah,
You
nah,
you
nah,
you
nah,
got you
nah,
got you
nah.
got you got the
Nah,
proof is in the pudding, right? Look at the proof.
nah,
Look at the
man.
proof. You got MJ calling him a duck, but his stablemate gets the fight. Go figure. Go figure who
Yo, shout out
wasn't
to
ready.
Hot Boxing. What's going on,
Where's
brother?
MJ Akmadalia right now? He's in witness protection program because every time Naoya
Is
Inoue
that
schedule opens up,
Edwin?
he
Edwin?
disappears.
Edwin? Is
Bro,
that
just
because Naoya Inoue and his team made a deal with his MJ and his team that if he don't fight him next, his title goes to him
Okay,
because
hey,
he's
check
coming
this
to
out. You know what I
America
heard
and the
last?
Mexican. No, 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 no. Let me finish. And the Mexican sells more than whatever he's from.
yeah, MJ. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Vegas, yeah.
Cardenas,
Right.
you know.
Right?
Yeah.
Who sells
On
more?
my show, I explained all that. I said, this is one of those fights where your promotional company steps in and says, Naoya, we gave you all the fights. Now you got to do something for us. You got to fight a Mexican on Mexican Independent Weekend, and they were looking for the top one, and Alan David Picasso pulled out. Pulled out of the fight. And then all of a sudden, MJ was rumored that he took step aside money. You mean to tell me you did all this argument, went in on a campaign that he's ducking you, and you became a step aside money dude?
And that's
You
because
stepped
if you don't fight
aside?
him, if you don't fight him, he gets the title, brother. Come on, this
Yo,
is business, dog.
I don't
Well,
even
Now
care
as
check
a
about
this
that
out.
fighter,
fight.
Now
as a
check this
fighter,
out.
look,
Just
I
check this
know.
out.
Okay.
Just like Tim Tszyu took step aside money from Jamel Charlo. He became a step aside money dude and never really got his opportunity. In this business, when you're going after legacy and belts, especially a man with 4 belts, there's not enough step aside money for me to pass up 4 belts. And you never know
All
if
right.
Naoya Inoue just
What,
changes his mind
what you mean
tomorrow
Tim
and
Zoo never
jumps
got
up
his
to
chance?
Listen,
126.
Yeah,
listen,
that
but
makes
you
no
gotta
sense.
remember, you have to remember, me as a fighter, I know this. I'm
Hmm.
an investment to the promoter. So if the promoter has invested millions of dollars to me and it doesn't make sense in the contract for me to take money to step aside and the promoter's not making his 30, 40%, whatever the contract may be that you got to give your promoter for taking a fight or stepping aside, taking a fight out of his promotion or stepping aside, it has to make sense to where they're making an invest. Getting money back on their investment. Because at the
Right.
end of the day, it's a money game. We're fighters, yes, but the promoters don't look at us as fighters. They look at us as another
Number.
dollar, as another way for
Right.
them to make money.
Yeah, it's a number. It's a number.
So
Yeah.
Let's just
can
keep in mind. Let's just
so
keep in mind
Now,
here. Let's just keep in mind. MJ has nothing. He has no belts. He has no bargaining chips. Nobody has. The only king in their division is Naoya anyway. He's the money, he's the cash cow, and he has all the gold.
Ah, man, you gonna say that for real? So it don't matter then.
Yeah, it don't
What?
matter, I guess. So
So
Canelo
What
too.
don't matter?
Canelo could continue to
Yeah,
fight
Canelo
Berlangos,
too.
and we
Yeah,
gonna be all right
Canelo
with that.
too.
Canelo Alvarez just went on an
I would.
interview and said that himself. I don't even have to say it. The man said it himself. I'm at the point
All
in my
right,
career I
man.
can fight whoever I want.
Well, that's why I hope Crawford
So why
gonna
would I
bust
have
the
to say
apple.
it?
Man, I strongly believe, listen, the only thing I don't give Crawford is the weight, but I strongly believe Crawford can outbox Canelo easily. He
Yeah,
has the IQ, and people don't realize this. Crawford was a boxer. Was before he was a boxer, he was a wrestler. If you see
right,
the way
right,
that wrestlers manage their weight, they can gain a lot of weight and lose a lot of weight real quick, and still be physically healthy enough to do a lot of strenuous activity. For example, my brother was a state wrestler. The
right.
dude was cutting weight, and he walks around like 150, cut weight to like 116 for wrestling.
What?
And I
Oh,
thought he was
shoot.
gonna be weak, bro. I thought he was gonna be weak. I got into a fight with him, and guess what, bro? He cradled me. I didn't even have a chance to throw my 1-2 out of
Oh,
before he
shit.
cradled me, bro. And I
Oh,
thought he was
shit.
gonna be weak, but it just shows you the difference in the strength in the sport. Now, let's not be. I'm not gonna be stupid and say, "Oh, Canelo is not gonna have a chance." But you're talking about two of the greatest fighters in this generation. There is
Yeah.
a chance for any of them to take the win now. But we're looking at that fight. You're looking at the weight. We're gonna see how Crawford adapts to the weight because we didn't like how he looked at 154. So maybe he might not look good in that way with Canelo. But I still strongly favor him outboxing Canelo and finding a way to win.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got my guy Aaron Trigger, but I'm gonna switch the topic, yo. Edgar
Okay.
Berlanga. Let's go over
Ooh,
to him. Do we
the
think,
Malanga, Edgar
yeah,
Malanga.
do we think he gonna be successful
I
in this
mean,
free agent?
What in
when
what sense though?
successful, what sense? Yeah.
Get the fights. No, get the money he wants because he's always talking about money.
I mean, what more money does he want, bro? He just got the biggest payday of his career fighting Canelo. You know, at this point, he shouldn't be looking for a payday. He should be looking for legacy because he talks about, and I know Edgar, I'm Felix Trinidad's nephew, for those that don't know. I know him personally, but guess what? He talks so much to me, my uncle, everybody that he wants to make a legacy. And I told him straight to his face, I'm like, you talk so much about wanting to make money and wanting to make a legacy, wanting to make a name from Puerto Rico, but who are you taking fights with? Who are you
Word.
going against with? Why are you avoiding all these top level fighters? My uncle didn't avoid Oscar De La Hoya. My uncle did not avoid a
Still, yeah.
Fernando Vargas, William Joppy, David Reed, you name it. He fought the greatest. If you want to have a Puerto Rican legacy and be shaped after Armando Serrano and all these other Puerto Rican fighters that have done it before, then you have to fight the greats. You have to fight big names and stop avoiding, stop ducking.
Yeah. What do you
I
think,
feel
Oscar?
like I just feel like Berlanga was at his highest, like let's say a metaphor like he was at his hottest, iron hot after the Canelo fight, and he took too long of a break to the point that it actually hurt him in my personal
Mm,
opinion, not knowing him. Instead
mhm,
of bouncing back and getting a fight real quick, because it's not like he got hurt, not like he got knocked down. He could have
mhm.
fight, made a quick fight with a middle to high name or like Mantequilla, I don't know, but like right
Hmm.
away, and he would get the ball rolling. I think right now he's at a point, sadly, where he has to build that name back up.
Hey, I'm not gonna
Right.
lie though, Mantequilla, people don't know him. I know him. I used to spar the dude back in Ivan Calderon's gym in Puerto Rico in El Wilfredo Gomez Benitez. Dude
Yeah,
got a heavy hand. Dude has a heavy hand. People, when they saw Mantequilla, they thought he was like a complete bum. Dude, he was a prospect for a title back in the day, but he ended up falling into drugs, the street life in Puerto Rico, the party life. He got away from boxing for like 4 or 5 years, and then he came back. And now he's trying to make a name for himself. That's why he took that fight against Berlanga. You know, he was one of those fighters. I'm already old. I need to take a chance, or else I'm not gonna do it. He took a chance, didn't make it. You know, but you can't take the credit away from the guy and call him a bum either.
Nah,
No,
you
but
don't
like
do that.
he's not really known over here. He's not like a
No, of course, I understand what you're
marketable
saying.
name, like a bounce
Yeah,
back name.
yeah,
Like you
Yo,
no,
know
he's
what?
Edwin,
not
what do you
I
definitely
think,
think
not a
Edwin?
marketable name.
like
My
to
mother
be fair
told
with
me
you.
when I
Oh,
my
to be
mother
Now
fair,
go
told
like
ahead,
me when I
Edwin.
was younger. My mother told me when I was younger, if I didn't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing nice. Don't say nothing at all.
That's how you feel
And
about Berlanga.
and
That's so G.
and I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm Puerto Rican, right? And Berlanga got me to a point where that he makes me feel that I can't back him up because his what he does outside the ring doesn't match inside the ring. He had a quick start to his career, an explosive career, and it seems like um, the distractions of the world has once again, you know, uh, interfered in one of my boxers' careers. Every time I see one of my boxers, something fucking outside sources getting arrested, flipping your car, you name it. It's like none of our boxers can really stay focused, and it seems like Edgar Berlanga is more focused about an imaginary bag fighting bums than rather than fighting the guys that he needs to. I think that Jaime Munguia fight is still be on the table if Jaime
That's
Munguia, takes care of business and puts away freaking Bruno here like he put him away and maybe potential. But Edgar Berlanga, man, every time I feel like I want to get behind him, this motherfucker party for a month. For a month after a Canelo loss, he didn't win one round in. Not
Yeah.
one round,
bro.
bro.
That that reminds me of Christopher Areola. You know what I mean? Like Christopher
oh
Areola was
yeah,
a prospect. Everybody thought he was gonna be the next heavyweight first Mexican heavyweight world champion. Guess what
yep.
happened? He was partying. He would leave training camp. He would leave Osner's training camp. And I know these things because I get along with Fernando Vargas. Fernando Vargas used to do training camps with him, and he used to tell me everything that Christopher would do. And I'm like, man, that's crazy. But he used to tell us those stories, not to talk smack about them, but for us as fighters to be able to learn from their
Yeah,
mistakes. You know what I mean?
right,
Yeah.
right.
Y como,
That's what we
ya,
should teach.
y como
Huh?
puertorriqueño, papá, estoy de acuerdo contigo en lo que estás diciendo de Berlanga, de corazón.
Gracias. Yo, and I think that he just needs to get focused and and really win over the fans. And you don't win over the fans on social media. You win over the fans by your performances in the ring. And each time we see you, we should see a better version of that fighter. He comes and fights a guy, knocks out a guy that just got out of jail, and he's like
What about
beating it.
what about that fight of Caleb Plant that was being talked about? What happened to that fight with Berlanga and Caleb? What happened to that?
No,
Yeah, that's a good fight.
I'm sorry. Caleb Berlanga, I like Berlanga. He got power. Listen, he's a good talent. And if you ever talk to Berlanga, he knows how to talk boxing with you. He's a little
Yeah.
cocky and arrogant when it comes to like the finances. And I think his head is, he's just in this world where he thinks that he puts on a couple chains. He can, but the kid's smart when it comes to boxing. If he was to dedicate himself more and he was to do a little bit more of this, there's no telling where he can go with his talent. But I'm nervous for him because of what I see and what I hear throughout the
Right.
boxing circles. He's seen. Look, they got him in Florida. They got him on lock and key right now. I'm hearing good things. I'm hearing and can he keep this going? Is it going to be another like Berlanga has one fight and then back to your old ways? Or are you going to take it serious? Can we really get behind you? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or am I going to turn on the TV one day and you're going to be flipping your car, smacking your wife, causing a scene, getting locked up by the cops? Every time I see my young fighter, they come up young, hungry, with no money. As soon as I see the gold chain, I go, what the fuck? Now he's going to
And
be
that
Yeah.
skipping the
happened.
parties with the rappers. And it happens to all of us. I can't say that I could say no to those pitfalls young. But I wish somebody would have pulled me over and been like, "Yo, chill out, do
bro.
this."
And
And
I
I
can
and I
tell
hope
you
that
that.
I would have took the information because
And
anybody
I
can tell me that, but if you don't do it, but
listen,
there's so
you're
much
telling the truth,
distractions.
bro. You're telling the truth. It's coming from somebody that has actually lived that. When I first signed pro, I had a good signing bonus with the company I was signed to. I'm not gonna say nothing who they were because I legally I can't. You know what I mean? Because of a part of the deal and stuff. But I lost the house, bro. I lost two cars. I lost everything at one point because I let everything gets to my head. I thought that I was undefeated. I had 3 fights undefeated. I lived in Vegas. People were inviting me to strip clubs, smoke weed, hang out, party. And at the time, I was like really dedicated. But when that came after a while, the temptation was so much. I was like, you know what? Once is not gonna hurt. Twice is not gonna hurt. And from that, it became a weekly thing where it was now affecting my training. I would go into the gym. I would feel sluggish sparring. I did not want to listen to my coach. My discipline wasn't the same. And it took me losing everything and a while to come back and win a title and be able to put myself up again to where I'm actually starting to get the publicity and getting known. But I don't have the deal that I had before. And as a fighter, you got to learn how to keep those things away. I come from Puerto Rico, you know what I mean? No teníamos nada, yo entrenaba descalzo y todo eso. I
Right.
would train barefooted, you know what I mean, in Puerto Rico. But when you come and you finally get a signing bonus, you get a good deal, all this. Now you think, oh damn, I'm freaking Scarface, bro. I'm gonna go buy the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
happens.
uh,
I don't.
That's
I
not
just
good.
worry. I just worry. I don't think Berlanga's gonna get the fights he wants. I think
yeah,
Eddie
and
Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn did a lot for him in a short amount of time. He made that guy rich in the
Well,
Caribbean
well,
Royale,
well.
and then put
Depending
him
if
in the
he got
Canelo
it,
fight.
it depending if he
and that's
got
the
point
thing.
money, right? Did he? Did Berlanga get point money off the pay per view buys? Was that in the contract or no? Or did he just
I
get the
don't know,
purse?
but I mean, even a guarantee. Him and Eddie Hearn only had a 4 fight deal. They said the outside the Canelo fight, he made $12 million fighting in a 3,000 seated venue in a hotel.
I
Yep,
don't believe that.
and to
Bro,
be
he was
fair with
selling it out. They had to Jake Paul was there too. Jake Paul did an event there too.
and to be fair with Berlanga, he's trying to use he's trying to use a chip that everybody has at 168 or like at least a top contender, which is like I fought Canelo, I sold so many views. When Plant has a chip, Munguia has the same chips,
Yeah, Miguel, yeah, he has the same situation. But yeah,
Plant has it.
I hope he gets the fights though. I hope we see them. I hope we see the Plant fight. I'd like to see the Jamal Charlo fight still, and Berlanga,
Tevin
and the
I can
Farmer
Munguia
definitely
fight,
and
of
William
course.
Berlanga.
Zepeda weighed in. They both made weight. That's gonna kick off again. You know, what was the other fight too? You had it on your thing. What was it?
We got the top rank
Mikaela
card,
Mayer,
obviously Mikaela Mayer, Sandy Ryan,
Sandy
Brian
Ryan.
Norman Jr.'s back,
Bro,
Shushu
Shushu,
Carrington.
bro. Shushu looks
But
terrible,
uh,
bro.
Espinosa's fighting.
Yes, versus Valet. I think that's the
Yeah,
ladies
Yep.
fight. Yep.
yeah, and then like those are interesting fights I want to keep in mind because, like I said, future fights here. Naoya Inoue is gonna come up the ladder some point, and a lot of people want to know: did he hit his ceiling? Is he maxed out? He's gonna
Right.
be entering his fifth weight division at that point. Technically, his sixth because he bypassed 112, but interesting fight. So I want to keep my eye on Espinoza. Remember the controversy with the elbows with Ramirez.
Oh, not
So
him. Not him. He's not fighting. It's
Oh, I thought it was the
oh,
same
it's a
one that
girl.
fought Robesi too. I was like, oh, is it
No,
that
no. There's a
Espinosa?
girl Espinoza. She's
Oh,
fighting
okay.
Valet.
oh
Yeah. On that Golden Boy card. But yeah, he's not.
oh
Shushu Carrington is the 126 that's fighting.
Yeah.
Mm.
So
okay
Shushu.
He
okay
looked
well then
bad, bro.
that's what he was talking about Shushu. Then I got confused because Shushu was talking about fighting on his card, and then he's flying out to Las Vegas to watch Naoya Inoue at his fight. They asked him
Oh, okay.
about that too. Then I thought that he was saying he was talking about that Espinoza at that fight, and I was like, "What?" And I haven't seen nobody weigh in or nothing all day.
Yeah, yeah,
So I was
yeah.
like, "Wow, I found that kind of peculiar." So and then
Yeah.
Bruce Carrington was talking about it, but I also noticed one thing in all their tones. I also know that they're all showing a little bit more respect for the Japanese dude now. It used to be Bruce Carrington was I'm ready for him. I can exploit holes in his thing. Now it's I'm going to show him respect. I'm going to his fight. I want to watch his fight. And a lot of people are also starting to see his market value. You know what I mean? Naoya Inoue,
Yeah.
because down there in those low weight divisions, those guys are not making his kind of money. That is the big fight coming up. And I'm wondering, do you really believe? My question is, out of all the guys in 126, honestly, you think all of those guys are gonna sign up to fight him?
The champs. Yeah.
Like the
You
champs,
really
yeah.
think so?
Absolutely. My guy already
Okay,
told him to
Yeah.
come over and fight. Come on,
okay,
man.
okay. You know why? You know why? You know why? You know why? I've heard many men get on a microphone and one asks the question, you're gonna fight this guy, just like Richard Hitchison. He said he's gonna fight Subriel. He's doing everything and arguing with Floyd online. Please don't steal my fight, because they're gonna force me to fight Subriel. He's so scared of that man. You know what I mean? And we all know it. We
Yeah,
all knew before
Sabril,
he was the
Sabril just got to
you
keep
ever,
winning though. He
you
got to
know,
win one more eliminator.
one more eliminator for one more title eliminator. Ain't that a bitch? How many
Well,
title
it's
eliminators you
not
gotta
his
fight?
problem. It's not his problem. He lost his to his mandatory. He lost to Liam Powell. That was his mandatory.
Yep.
Right, but
So
in the
it gets
IBF,
reset. So it gets
right,
reset, Edwin.
and it's not his fault. It's not his fault that he did exactly what the IBF told him to do. Fight this fight, and you'll be the next in
Yeah.
line. Now they want him to
No,
fight another
it doesn't work like
mandatory.
that. It gets reset as soon as you lose. Like as soon as you lose to your mandatory, whoever gets the belt next, it resets.
No, no,
That's
no,
why
no, 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 no,
Lomachenko's
no.
still
What do you
holding
mean?
on
What
to
are you
his
talking
IBF
about
belt.
reset? How's it reset? He hasn't lost since then.
He lost to Liam
But
Paro. So
No,
Liam
no, no,
Paro
no.
was
He's
his
fought two
mandatory.
fights after that. He
No, it
fought two.
doesn't matter. Like Richard Hitchison has 18 months to fight until his mandatory.
Bro,
yep.
Okay,
if you guys only knew
you're not
how
getting what I'm
these
saying though,
sanctioning
right?
bodies actually work, though.
But
When you fought,
IBF is not like the others because they're not profit. So they have to
Okay,
abide by the rules or else they
okay,
get
now
okay.
check
sued.
this out.
Yeah, I
Check this
didn't
out.
know that.
Yeah, the IB. That's
He
why
fought him
people
for
get stripped by the
Aldo.
IBF. That's why Usyk gets stripped. That's why Canelo
Yeah,
says
yeah, yeah.
no.
Listen, he fights in Fajardo, Puerto Rico, and the only man he could get to fight him was that dude. The IBF sanctioned it as an IBF title eliminator.
Yeah.
So his
No, no,
next
no.
fight, he's
Edwin,
the
it's the
number
same thing
one.
as the BC. What they did to David
He's the number
Benavidez. They
one.
kept telling him he had to fight eliminators. And what did he do? He fought all
Yeah,
his
but that's the
eliminators and
BC.
still didn't
I'm
even
not
get it.
surprised at anything they do. This
Yeah,
is
but
the
what I'm
IBF
saying
we're
is,
talking about.
yeah, the IBF runs by its rules exactly because you could sue
Right.
them. Like they're a profit company. You can file a lawsuit
Subriel is
against
the
them.
number one right now. He's the
No, but
mandatory.
you're not hearing what I'm saying. When Hitchison won, his
Oh
cycle
yeah,
gets
yeah. I know that
reset.
rule. I know that
So he
rule.
has
I know that
18
rule.
months. He can do two
And I
voluntaries.
agree. I agree. I
Yeah,
agree
so
to
he has
that.
two voluntaries. So he's gonna
And
do
do you
one
know what's
whenever.
going on right now? When they juiced up George Camboza, which is a phony baloney at 140 that never fought at 140, that mysteriously got a number 3 ranking at the IBF, coming off of a loss. How
Yeah.
did he get that ranking? That's phony baloney for one. Then when he's getting up there, Floyd Mayweather comes out and says, "Hey, George Camboza, want to come out and fight?" Then Richard Hitchison twitches on X saying, "Floyd, please don't steal my food."
Yeah. I
He
don't know why
tweeted
these guys
that.
want to fight Cambosis. I don't understand it. Like
No,
Cambosis.
because he's the
He's got a whole
sacrificial
country
lamb.
behind him.
He's the sacrificial lamb. You don't bring up George Camboza because you think he's going to win a world title. You just
Shout
bring
to
Nope.
him up
George,
so that
man.
your guy can beat him up and get a title defense.
George making bags off Teofimo Lopez. That's great. Shout out to
Yo,
him, man.
and Teo better win, because if Teo loses, that win that George got goes down.
Yo, Barboza could beat him, man.
He
Barboza could beat
can.
him.
He can. He can. He can pull an upset. He could.
He's not. He's not. Yeah, I think. Yeah, Barboza could hold his game
Hey,
plan together for 12 rounds.
What does Ramirez look like to you? Have you seen him lately?
Oh, he looks
Devin
good,
Haney?
man. I always said Devin Haney's in the toughest fight. He's in the toughest fight.
He looks
Yeah.
awesome, bro. He got abs. Yo, he's all ripped and cut up, bro. He's taking this fight serious.
Yeah, Dev looks good too, all considering he's fasting.
Listen. Unfortunately for Devin Haney, I can understand his angle, right? this is a tough fight right here, and I can agree. But let's just be honest. If he took a lesser fight and beat the guy, would guys people give him credit? No, they would say
Nah.
he had a tomato
No,
can.
of course not.
By also coming back right here on this fight right here and proving himself, like this
Yep.
is a legit fight right here. This is
Yeah.
a real
Moving
one.
up in weight.
This is not like Ryan fighting Rolly. It's
Nah,
not
it's
even
just
on
No.
the same
dead.
level.
Yeah.
This is a legit fight, bro. So I
You
Yeah.
you
like this
just said it.
because yeah.
You
Go
just
ahead.
said it. It's a legit fight.
Right.
Okay. But people are considering that Rolly Romero versus Ryan Garcia a more legit fight than the one that Devin's having.
It's
And that's
crazy.
Yeah.
crazy.
No, no,
And
no,
that's
papi, mira,
crazy.
mira, papi. The
Mhm.
world is broken. Listen,
Yeah.
Devin Haney was the professional in this situation. Ryan Garcia missed weight, not a professional. Ryan Garcia
No.
tested positive, not a professional. Devin Haney was the clear-cut professional, and in this broken world, Ryan
He's the
Garcia
bad guy.
popped out on top, and Devin
Yeah.
Haney on the
Yeah.
bottom. What the fuck is
Yeah.
going on?
Yeah.
And now he's fighting on his undercard, and Ryan is like, the only thing I didn't like about what Devin Haney did, he truly allowed Ryan Garcia rent space in his head. It was like Ryan Garcia went to jail for a year, and Devin was like his boo. He was like, "I'll wait for you for the year. I won't wait until
Yeah. I
you
didn't like
fight."
that either.
I didn't
Yeah.
like that at all. He
Yeah. He
he
should have
he
moved
let the
on.
world see that he like beat under his drum. And Devin Haney's trying to prove himself, chasing this man all the way up to 147. Okay, Mr. Devin Haney, let's say if you win this fight, are you prepared to be a 147 pounder? Turn around.
Yeah.
That's Jerron Boots' head is standing right there. Are you
No, but
crazy,
not
Hey,
just
Devin
that.
Haney?
Yeah.
they're all going there. They're gonna make that
Hmm.
division hot again.
Yes. 147. Hopefully it goes back like in the 1990s where 147 it was the best division. You know what I mean? It was the
Yeah,
money division. You know,
yeah,
but what I think my take for that Ryan Garcia Devin Haney thing, you know, as a Puerto Rican, I saw when Miguel Cotto lost, and I know this is what people have been talking about, but when Miguel Cotto lost, he took that loss, bit down on it, bit the bullet down, and then he went and he fought Margarito again, but he made
again,
sure there was no illegal hand wrap and
right.
took the win. I would have respected more Devin if he would have done it like that. I also, with the whole thing with Ryan Garcia, there's been a whole bunch of things going back and forth that they're still going against the New York State Athletic Commission and this and that, that the samples were contaminated. So people think that's all over. That's still going on in the background. And I know a couple of people personally from his side that are telling me that that's still going. They're just not covering with media.
I don't
Devin
think there's
Haney,
contamination. Like the
Devin Haney,
company came out and said they're gonna sue Ryan Garcia because he said that because they already tested the lot. They tested the shit. They're like, yo, we
yeah,
tested that shit. Ain't no contamination. We'll sue you. We're trying to put a bad name on our company.
Yeah, and
yeah.
defamation.
And
You
Devin Haney,
know,
I don't think he asked for that lawsuit, bro. Like Bill's been on record saying he's the one that filed it because he's the manager, so he's doing what's right by his client. I don't think Devin Haney care
Mm.
about no lawsuit.
yeah,
Like we gotta
yeah.
look at Devin
But
Haney,
Turkey,
bro. He the
Turkey
one
said
taking
Why?
the
that.
fights.
Yeah,
Hmm.
Turkey said that he had to drop the lawsuits, and then both Ryan and Devin has already been on a
Yeah, that's Turkey
podcast
out chic. Yeah,
saying they dropped it. You know what I'm saying? Now, look, as far as Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney, great fight. I want to see it again. They're gonna be
But
under
in the right
really
setting and the fair setting.
right. They're
right.
gonna they're
Yeah,
gonna they're
yeah.
gonna be under. They're gonna be testing these boys like that. Yeah, and it's good, but um. I think that Devin Haney, I hope when he fights his fight with Ramirez, I hope that he really shows the world that, he's still him. I think he's a remarkable talent. I think that every fighter goes through a tough fight or tough situation. And I really don't see how the boxing world like really flipped on a young man that was like undisputed champion at 23. He accomplished so much. It's tough to be in this sport and impress Americans and to get the love from all the fans, but the scrutiny that Devin Haney's really been getting behind all of this stuff, I think it's because one, I think they didn't take responsibility for what happened on their side of the street in that night. I think if Bill Haney would have come out right away and said, "Look, we had a bad night, this and that. We're working our way up. We took a tough fight, and we're hoping to win the fans back," and left it as that and started to heal, I think it would have been a better approach. But they try to fight every argument on social media, and it just
Nah,
got worse for
Edwin,
them.
you didn't listen to Haney at the end of the fight. He said Ryan was the better fighter. He did say that in
Yeah,
the
but
ring. He
Bill
said
kept
all
going.
things,
Bill kept
inshallah. He
going.
said this wasn't my night.
Yeah,
He said shout out to Ryan Garcia. He said that it's the other people. It's the outside. You know, like
right.
this kid
And
and
his
had a
dad. Is his
yeah.
dad?
That's what
Is
I'm
his
saying.
dad?
Like
Well,
it's his
Bill's
dad.
like that. Bill's like
Yeah,
that. Bill's been like that ever since Devin had the gym over there in Las Vegas on the corner with Sap Judah that they used to co-own the gym back in Las Vegas. And I know Bill for a long time. Bill's always been that way, bro. Bill's been about money for a long time, and he's gonna
right,
do what's right legally for his son, which is not bad. Because me, after that, I'm gonna do whatever it takes for my kid to do the
right.
get the best and get treated the best. But you also got to look at it, like Edwin says, from the political standpoint, and the fans' view of everything that is happening. You know what I mean?
Nah,
Yep.
I get it, man.
Yeah.
But I guess I also look at it too, like you guys ever watch the first 48?
Yeah.
Street guys, they say they tough until they get in the interrogation room. Now they
Yep.
telling on everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the same thing here. Like, Ryan Garcia cheated. How is Golden Boy gonna benefit from him cheating? No, the money gotta come over here to DHP. So that's the way I looked at it, but I get it. It looks bad because we're talking about suing, we're talking about battery in a boxing match. Yeah, I get it.
That's what it
And
It
looked
looks
bad.
You know
bad.
what? You know what makes it worse, or I mean, at least to me personally, makes it look worse. Is the fact, like, ya know, you're tennis speakers, like el que pega primero pega dos veces. You
Right.
ají.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like the one that hits first hits twice, and sadly, Bill and Devin took too long to come out with their statement. By the time they came out with their statement, the billions of a gram was already in place. The whatever Ryan said went with because nobody was coming out with their piece, and it just so happened that when Devin Haney and Bill Haney came out with their story or their version, it made it look like excuses. Now it didn't made it look like they can say
Like,
whatever, but it
okay,
just makes it look
yeah.
like excuses.
Which is crazy. Because I can't
Well, the
imagine
thing
any
is,
fighter being
mhm.
okay with that.
And the thing is because, like he said, the thing is, it went for so long that they gave the fans a chance to form their own opinion of what's going on just
Right.
by
Yeah.
hearing
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
side of the story. Just by hearing one side of the story, not
Right.
Yeah.
both. And then by the time that they
Right.
came out to be able to have everything organized to come out with their side of the story, now everybody's like, oh, it's just BS. Oh, you know what? He's doing the
Yeah,
sport dirty. He shouldn't have done that. He should have took the loss like a man and a whole bunch of things. But you can't do
Right.
that. If you see something is not fair right away, you have to come to it right away.
Yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. It stewed in the pot a little
And,
too long.
and then the Carnival Act didn't help his case.
Oh,
Yeah.
The
yeah.
Carnival, when he tried to
oh
plead,
yeah,
that didn't help his case. It
But
didn't
that's
help
what we're
his
saying, that
case.
when he should have been in the gym getting busy, getting ready for a fight. He
Yeah,
should have
yeah.
been
He should have
doing
just,
other
yeah,
things.
locked in and showed that Ryan Garcia wasn't going to dictate my future. I wasn't going to wait for you and follow you. He could have still pursued the Ryan Garcia fight, but had a fight in between on his own time. Show that
You're
he's
right.
recovering, healing. Because we all know as fighters, unless you've never boxed before, if you take your first bad loss, especially going down for the first time in the ring, he was fighting the moment, seeing his wife in the crowd, his little brothers, his father. They've never seen that. I'm sure a little panic set in, and at the time when you're experiencing this for the first time, not all men can just snap out of it. He didn't
No,
make the
as a
right
man, it hurts your
adjustments,
pride.
and it hurts. Yeah. So mentally, when we say in the boxing world, that fight right there took a lot out of you, it depends which way it took something out of you. Did it take it out of you mentally? Or are you gonna get hit by a shot and you're gonna have a flashback? Or are you gonna get hit with the shot and you're gonna say, "Vete cabrón, let's go." You know what I'm saying? How
Yeah.
are you
Yeah.
gonna do it? You know? You
Yeah.
know? Which way are you gonna respond? And not all men are equal. So that's something I don't have a measuring stick for. That I would have to see.
I don't know, man. If I'm Dev, I gotta hang my head high because I thought he was done the first round. Like he got clipped in that first round. and I was like, man, his legs are done, and he still
And
won a lot of rounds in that fight. Like
oh yeah, no,
he
the
got
ones
up and still
he
won
didn't
them.
get dropped, he won them.
Yeah,
But
so
and
it's
like
like,
just
damn.
back to what Edwin was saying, it's like you got to look back at him in the ring, right? To see where he's at. And sadly, to tie it back to the earlier statements, Ramirez is not that guy because this is actually a legit fight. So you might look bad and win, which it could be good because Ramirez is a good fighter, is a
Right.
tested fighter, a proven fighter. But
Good point, Oscar.
you might still be at the negative side of the spectrum at the end of the day.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nah, it's a good fight, and both
You know,
guys are coming
because
in
and
with
then
a
what
lot
he's
to lose.
basically saying, unless fighting fans really know what they're watching, if he looks
Exactly.
bad, it's not because of that. It's because of this is actually a great fighter. You know, this is not
Right.
no tomato can. So, you know, he's in a tough situation, but there is a flip side to this coin. If Devin can really look dominant and put on a
Yeah.
great performance and beat him and maybe potentially stop him, because I keep trying to remind myself that Devin Haney is extremely young. What, 25? Still growing as
Yeah,
a
he's
man,
young. Yeah.
you know? So I keep reminding myself that I have watched him kind of grow up in boxing and that there could be a time where he gets a better boost of strength or so.
You
Yeah,
gotta
Because
his
remember,
man.
he's barely getting his match strength right now.
right,
That's his
puppy,
leg
come
over
on,
there.
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I'm and like not all of us get it at the same time. You ever be in school with that kid? You're 12, he's 12, but he's got a beard. Some kids
Yeah.
grow more. They develop
They got
faster.
some testosterone in them, like dang.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? The kid roll up at your house. I'm taking your daughter out. Motherfucker, you look 30. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
yo, you ain't taking
Right.
her nowhere. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, like, so so all of us don't, and maybe Devin matched out. Maybe he's, at the point, but I'm in the point where I'm there where I'm thinking that maybe Devin might get a little bit more stronger, getting more of a man frame, and he might become a better fighter. If not, no, but I still think there's time for the kid to develop as a stronger puncher.
Yeah. I agree.
All right,
And if he gets
let's
back
talk
to
about
boxing.
somebody then.
Hmm.
Let's talk about somebody in that card then. Let's talk about Rolando Romero. Do you guys think
Rolly.
that this is gonna be? You guys think this is gonna be his last straw as a fighter? You know, if he takes another loss, is he gonna become a gatekeeper, or is he his social media, the way that he manages his social media, and the way that he keeps himself in the limelight? Do you think that's gonna play a factor in him being able to still get those big money fights? Because you look at Gabriel Rosado. Gabriel Rosado is not a world champion contender, but he makes good money and he's definitely a gatekeeper.
Yeah.
He could be
Yeah.
So
a
do you
Ricardo
think?
Mayorga.
Yeah. Yeah. More. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You had me all the way until you said Gabriel Rosario, because
Yeah.
Gabriel Rosario is a warrior, not not
Hmm.
not not Roly, not
Well,
Roly.
not a clown. No, of
Hey,
course, Gabriel Rosado is
Rolly
not
got
a clown.
Nah,
Rolly got
nah,
a
yeah,
title, man.
yeah, because you see, Rolly's here because not his boxing skills, it's his antics, it's his mouth, it's his
Uh huh.
personality, right? Right? Gabriel Rosario was a warrior that showed up, win, lose, or draw. He was gonna give you everything he had. You know what I'm saying? And Romero seems like he's not getting better or improving as a fighter at all. I think this is his last crack right here. He loses to Ryan. I think he withers down to in the back of boxing, kind of obscurity. Nobody's gonna want to see him fight Tank or any of the top guys because they're not gonna think that this is a level game. And when you're that far off in levels, it's like kind of like when we watched all these kids grow up in boxing, the Ryan
Hmm.
Garcia, Devin Haney, Loma, and Tank, and not Loma, but Tio, right? Right? When we
Yeah.
watched him grow up, just think about it. Out of all those fighters, which one of them never became a world champion? Ryan.
Hmm.
And he didn't seem
Yeah.
like he went up. Devin became a champion. Tio became a champion. Tank became a champion. But Ryan. And it was like, you know what I'm saying? So when we start to see that and we start to understand this is the same concept, they're gonna find out about Rolly. They're gonna say, yo, Rolly, wait a minute, Papi. you ain't did shit. And you're just a punching bag. You got Asap Pitbull Cruz, all 5'3" of them, coming up to 140. 5'3", embarrassing you like that? Come on, bro. You're lucky you
Yeah.
got this. You're lucky you got this card, and you better be thankful that Ryan Garcia accepted you as a dancing partner, because it's up
Hmm.
to Ryan Garcia.
Well,
Word.
Ryan Garcia
Word.
was the cash cow in that fight. He's the one bringing in the cash. He's the one
You're
bringing in
damn
the
right.
money.
You're
Yep.
damn right.
Yeah, that's why Ryan's.
I think he's done. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, I agree. He's gonna be a gatekeeper, but I think he'll be
Listen,
a good name for like dudes like Abdullah Mason, those
yeah.
young guys who
So
we want to see.
listen, I did. I used to spar with Rolly a lot. I grew up like with all them, Tio, all these guys. I even saw
Okay.
Teofimo lose against Andres Cortez in the Nationals. A lot of people don't know that, but Andres Cortez beat Tio in the Nationals. Teofimo's trainer at that time was Gambo's dad in Florida. Okay, so like I've been around. I'm 12-1, 9 wins by KO. I'm like, but I used to be in nationals with them tournaments, all that, and I still haven't become a world champion. I'm not taking it. I was like, oh, my time's not gonna come. I just gotta keep working hard, and I put my trust
Grinding,
in God that
Poppy.
that's gonna
Grind,
happen.
grind, Poppy.
Yeah,
Grind every day. Grind.
but amen. But what I'm referring to, why I'm bringing this up, is because, I've seen Rolly make a lot of improvement in his career the moment he went with Bullet. But the thing is, Bullet is not a technical coach. I know Bullet personally.
Oh, okay.
He teaches bone structure, how to punch with your bone structure, which is an actual thing. You can actually use your own bone, your own natural body's density to bring power with your kinetic energy that you transfer from the ground. But as far
Hmm.
as boxing abilities, that's why we didn't see Rolly really improving his boxing abilities because he's never been a boxer. He was trained by his dad
Right.
at the awkward style for a while when he trained with me and Fernando. Then me and him, we went and we trained with Ismael Salas for like 2 years, and we both went our own ways. But he never, Ismael Salas didn't really like working with him too much because he wouldn't really pay attention to what Salas was teaching him. He wanted to do his own training. His dad always wanted to be involved in the training and get in between them. And when you have that happening, you're not giving the fighter room to grow because you're always wanting to be the one directing the fighter.
Yeah, that's terrible. Wasn't he like Taekwondo? Like he was in like some sort of other
Not
martial art?
taekwondo. Yeah, it wasn't taekwondo. It was oh man, I forgot. It's judo,
Kickboxing.
judo, where you
Oh,
use the
Oh,
judo.
weight of
judo.
Yeah.
yeah, judo, where you use your opponent's weight against them.
Hmm. Nah, man, for a guy who didn't really like not technically sound, like he made a lot of money, had a lot of success in a
Hmm.
short amount of time, and
Had champions.
that's that
Yeah.
Mayweather cosign, man.
Listen, yeah. That's what it is. But let me tell you right now, right? I'm gonna be honest, right? For as much as I'll, criticize Rolly and everything, but as a man and what he accomplished, you can't take that away from him. He
Mm-mm.
became a
No.
legit world champion, and you will never be
Hmm.
able to take that away from me. So hats
Mm-mm.
off to Rolly. I don't care how he
And
got there. He got there. He achieved his dream,
Yeah.
and a lot of us never get to that pinnacle. I know men that are pros for
Yeah.
10 years and never got a shot at a world title. And then
yeah.
these people say, oh, let's go back to a four belt era like Dana White wants it. And I say, well, the only reason why that works in the UFC, because you don't got 50,000 boxers. You got barely fucking 50 guys in a division, and
Hmm.
that's why that one belt works there. We got 10 belts right now in a division with 2,000 guys, and there's not enough belts for 2,000 guys.
Listen,
Boxing is too big to go back on a fucking one belt era. You'd ruin
And that's
boxing.
not and that's not including the small bells like the NABA, the
I know,
NABF,
right?
and
No,
all
that's
the
and then
other
that's
ones.
more, and then that's more. So it's like, look, fighting that, it's one thing to get up to a world championship, and then it's another thing to become a two-division world champion or to get three belts and four
Or
belts. Those
unified.
are pinnacles that some men never see, never
Hmm.
see. So Rolly got one belt, bro. I might be critical on him, you know what I mean? But hats off to you, young man, because
Hmm.
you had the balls to run and chase after your dream. A lot of us fall through the pitfalls and never get the chance. And some of us wake up, get a second chance at it, and make the best out of it, young man. Make the best out of your second chance, because every day and tomorrow's not promised to you. You understand that? And then when you get there, when you get to a world championship, my best advice to you is don't let the champion's curse get to you. They get these belts and they want to go on a vacation. No, you mean to tell me you worked all this time, all 10 years or whatever amount it was to get there and to finally take a break? No, that's when the hard work starts to, now you got to defend it. That's where the work begins. You want to stay active and always remember what got you there. And at times when you can't take a second to breathe by yourself, whether you're on a run, appreciate everything you have. Appreciate everything and remember where you come from and that you don't ever want to go back and what boxing has given to you. And if you're able to become one of the fortunate to fight for a world title, make the most of it, young man. Make the most of it.
Word.
Gracias, que Dios te bendiga, mi hermano. Gracias por esas palabras.
Yeah, man. So, like, what about the Dana White TKO group? You guys like it? The boxing
I like it
league?
as a league. I
Ooh,
like it
man.
as a league.
Listen, as a league, yes, because it gives fighters that don't have that exposure, a chance to get known. Now, as far as what we have right now with your current promoters and all that, where there's a lot more money to be made, I don't agree with it. But for somebody that's never been given a chance from like those countries like Africa, you got like a lot of people that are talented from Puerto Rico, de Mexico, that are talented like crazy, but they don't get the exposure. I believe that's a good platform for them to get exposure and make some money. You know what I mean? It's a good thing for them that way. But for the current boxing stars and the people that have always been striving for the old school way of boxing and appreciate it, I don't think it's good for the sport in that
Right,
way.
right. And exactly what he said. And I think the only way that the TKO boxing thing would flourish, they got to work with the alphabet boys. They got to work with the belts. You can't make up a 10 belt and put it against it and
Nah,
it's
you ain't
not going to
gotta work with them
survive.
guys, bro. Nah,
What I think, listen to me.
nah, nah, nah.
Frazier,
Turkey
hear me
She
out.
gonna put him out the door soon.
Hold
He gonna
on,
put
hold
him out
on,
the
hold on.
door soon.
Boxing ain't going nowhere. They survive
He
all
bought that
boxing.
ring for a reason.
I
He gonna
That's
come
make
on,
that
different though.
prestigious belt. He
come
gonna
with
make
it.
it the prestigious
Come with
belt.
it. These belts are staying. I'm gonna tell you right now,
They'll
right?
be there, but
Oh, they'll
nobody
be
gonna
there.
want them.
They'll be there. They'll
Listen,
be there. I
they're
look,
gonna
look.
make they can make their own belt, but I don't believe that you cannot take the WBC, the green belt that has been the belt from boxing from the start of boxing that everybody dreams of. Screw that, like not in a bad way, because I would love to get a title shot at IBF, but I mean like forget about the IBF, WBO, all those other titles. The most important title of all has always been the WBC, the green belt. That's the one that everybody has ever wanted.
Well, well,
Man,
well.
look at
Well,
David
No,
Benavidez.
not really.
the belts are actually as strong as the champion that wore them. That's how
Hell
they
Yeah.
no.
are.
What? No,
The
bro.
champion that wore them.
No. No,
Because
no, 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 no.
what you're saying
William
is,
Skull. Y'all think William Skull's a big name in
Yeah,
boxing?
no,
There's a
that
reason
actually
why
No,
Canelo
no,
no,
gonna
I'm
but
go
that
take
saying,
that
no,
belt
no,
from
no,
him.
no,
You went
no.
too far, Frazier. You
Yeah,
went too
no,
far.
no,
What I'm
and that
saying is,
actually proves your point. That actually proves your point. The, I,
listen. Once you get the belt, you gotta defend it and become a strong champion. And when you represent it, when you watch
Ah,
Mayweather, what
man.
did you see? What did you see? Count them. Look, what did you see?
Nah,
He
I'll tell you what I
represented the
saw. I saw
WBC very
Mayweather throwing
well.
money at Connor. That's what I saw.
Yeah, and he had a
That's what
million
I
dollar
saw.
belt. And he had
That's
a
what I
million
saw.
dollar belt made by the WBC on that night. It's the most
I saw
expensive
a
belt
man
in
make
all
$1
of
billion
boxing.
off boxing. That's crazy.
They put diamonds, rubies in that belt. That's a badass belt, bro.
Ah, man, them belts can't pay you, bro.
I
When
they
you
can't
when the
pay
money
you, but
stops,
something
you can't
happens.
sell
You
them
can sell
belts.
it.
You can't,
Okay,
them belts ain't worth nothing
Frazier,
on eBay.
You know what? I'm gonna use your boy for you. Your boy Nick
Word.
Ball, very smart man. He went on an interview. You know what he said? He said, I worked this hard and I achieved my dream and I became a world champion. Once I became a world champion, I realized that this belt represents my hard work, right? This belt represents my hard work. And I also know its value. That when the time is right, my hard work is gonna pay itself. Yeah, Matthew, I'm here. Just come here. I'm on a live. Just get here. Bye. All right. And he knows the value of that belt. He's about to sell that belt to Naoya Inoue, win, lose, or draw. But Naoya Inoue has to beat him first, and he knows that.
Nah, man.
That belt
Riyadh
right
season
there,
now. Riyadh season here.
when you get these belts, it represents your body of work. Without a belt, that's just like you being Dan Marino.
Nah,
Oh, yeah,
man.
I'm real good,
Nah.
but I got no rings. I got no rings.
Them
At the
rings.
end of the day,
Them
you keep
rings.
saying that shit. Belts don't matter. When that guy retires, I'm gonna say, how good were you?
All right.
Oh,
So
you got
is
a bag
Bill
of
Russell
money?
the best basketball player ever? He got the most rings. But we know Michael Jordan the best.
Yeah, but he's not. He was never in the conversation.
What, bro? But he got 11 rings.
It don't matter. That was that era.
He
Was
got
never in the
11 of them
conversation.
things. I'm just saying,
talking
it
in
don't
our
matter.
era.
When you the best, it don't matter. It don't matter.
Okay, but okay.
Anthony Joshua, you think Anthony Joshua gonna make less? You think he's not gonna sell out Wembley his next fight? If you go to Wembley, he's not putting 90,000 people in there.
Excuse me.
He's for sure selling out.
You're taking the situation from a guy that's already established. He
All right,
already
Ryan
had the
Garcia.
belts.
Ryan Garcia, we talked about him. He ain't never held a belt. He had a Gatorade deal. Tell me the other boxer that had a Gatorade deal.
Excuse me, Frazier, but but what you're not saying is the obvious. His last 2 fights, or his last 3 fights with Tank Davis was for a belt. Devin Haney,
No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. Catchweight 136. He don't fight for belts, man. He don't fight for belts.
Devin Haney was a title shot.
No, that he missed weight, so that was he didn't fight for a belt either.
That's on him. And this Rolly
Because he don't
fight
care.
is being, excuse me, Bobby. This Rolly fight is being sold as an interim world title.
You heard who said that? Who said that? Rolly's the one that said that. Remember, Doug Fisher was like, "What do you mean it's a title fight?" He's like, "Yeah, we fight for the WBA." It wasn't Ryan saying that. Ryan don't care about no belts. It's Rolly Romero saying that.
WBA interim fight.
No, it's not an intern, bro. There's already a mandatory at the WBA.
No, it's
There's already mandatory. That's why Gearshoff took the side step so that Stanionis could fight on Boots.
Check this out, right? And Ryan Garcia's biggest paydays, there were belts on the line.
There was no belts, man. The Tank fight was 136. The Devin fight, he blew the weight on purpose. There's no belts. Okay. He's never been in a fight where he could win a belt.
The reason why Ryan,
what you see not to be acknowledging, when he signed the contract with Devin Haney at 140 for the WBC world title. It's not your opinion on what
and he clearly
afterwards.
had no intention of making 140.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
He never had intention of making that. Okay, so he didn't care. He didn't care.
Yo, but Ryan, they still sold it as a title fight leading into
the
fight until he missed weight.
Do you not know that Ryan Garcia? I wish he would have went back further. Because Ryan Garcia held the WBC interim. He held the WBC interim like way time when he beat Luke Campbell. He had the interim. And then he dropped it because he didn't want to fight Devin Haney.
No,
he said, forget that.
Because he went into depression. And he quit sports. He retired.
Depression. Yes, depression. But we see what happened after he became the face of Gatorade. He got all this fame, TikTok.
Okay,
now he making.
Anyway,
and that guy never did a pay-per-view until Tank. He never did a pay-per-view till Tank, and he making all this money.
He never sold out a fight, neither.
So how was Ryan Garcia this big draw though? And you telling me he got to win a belt?
You want to know why? Because the fucking world is broken.
Listen,
here I'll show you another analogy. Nobody want to be the face of the NBA right now. You want to know why?
Why?
Because look at the way they treat LeBron James. They kill him every day. They kill him every day.
As soon as he leaves the NBA, I'm gonna go.
Nobody cares. Nobody cares about the best player in the NBA because they're just gonna find a way to downplay it. It's the same in boxing, bro.
Listen,
I was a hardcore Laker fan until LeBron came on the team. That day I left. I never watched basketball again.
See, that's what I'm talking about, bro.
I haven't. I stay true to my word until he leaves. Until he leaves.
That's crazy, bro. That's crazy.
No, listen to this. Look at this. The reason why Brian is so valuable, you guys gotta, like I said, it's a business. It's like promoted. Let's say Brian has 2.5 million followers on Instagram, right? Okay, look at that. Let's say out of those 2.5, let's say even if it's just 10%, which is 250,000. Okay, as a promoter, you gotta look at it that way. Okay,
Right.
250,000. If I just get 10% people buying pay per view, let's say $90 a pay per view, which is kind of outrageous, but that's the way that they're heading now. You're looking at
Right.
22 million with $500,000 just in that. That's spending all the other people and the people that the other fighters bringing and other things. So it has to make sense for the promoter to make that big of an investment in Ryan. Ryan's not a world champion. They've announced him as a world champion, but he's never won a world title. He's just been somebody that can sell tickets and generate a lot of people to come to the area.
You want to know something? I don't want to leave you with that, right? Because I don't want to leave your fans or anything saying like I'm a jerk or anything like that.
No, no,
Nah,
you're good.
To
nah,
tell you
nah,
the truth,
man.
wait, wait,
Nah.
wait, wait. Check this out. Check this out. Let me hear me out, please, please. To tell you the truth, I don't have anything against LeBron James. I just got everything against his fans because his
Mm.
fans they try to lower the bar to get his name in with a great one, and they try to implement like a scoring title or his longevity and all this. The guy came in the lead at 17. If you didn't break that scoring title, what would that say about you? Now another thing is the scoring title was never in the conversation. What you did, longevity, what was in the conversation should have always stood in the conversation with fans. Get 6 rings, then come talk to me. I understand championships. I don't understand bullshit. I don't understand where you can take a man's what he did through this year, that steer, this steals, that steals. That was never in the conversation. And the way that these fans come out and come out with new stats, new rules, it's just a bunch of hogwash. If you can't get 6, I don't care. You don't have to get a 3P. You can win one, lose one, win one, lose one. Just get 6. That was the conversation. That was the point for error. Kobe came close with 5, and somehow they just totally disrespected Kobe, walked right over him because he had a line on his sneaker on a Nike deal. And he's like, and I don't even want to go into game winning situations, what he did with the ball, none of that shit. Because none of that shit matters. The only thing that matters, 6 rings. That's it.
Mm.
6 rings. That's what we got to do. I don't know, man.
That's it.
I don't know. Just like I look at it like in boxing. If Canelo just beat the best names, I wouldn't care about the belts either. If he just beat the best guy out there, I
You know,
wouldn't give a damn.
that's a great point, Ryan. That's a great point. You see, in boxing, our goats, we don't water down our goats. Like in basketball, there's 10 goats. In football,
Yeah, yeah.
there's 10 goats. You see, in boxing, we all know you can't be called a goat until you retire. We add up your resume, we look through what you did, and if you walked, there's specifications. You got to meet the standard qualifications to get in the room with the legends. If you can beat them, you go further in the conversation. And that's how you gain GOAT status. The reason why we don't call our GOATs the champion while active, because the guys don't know how to end their career well. 2 years later on the couch to come back, I want to fight again. And Roy Jones is getting knocked out 8 times. He pushed his career out of the GOAT conversation because he didn't retire well. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end of your career. And unfortunately, once you get in that ring, we got to count it all, baby. And then once you retire after 5 years, you go to Hall of Fame. Now we enter you for the GOAT conversation in boxing. We don't have watered down GOATs in our sport.
Nah,
Just
I agree. I agree.
No, and I believe I agree with that because that also brings me to a point. Like you look at the exception to the Floyd Mayweather era situation where everybody wanted to be undefeated. You look at Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao had a whole bunch of losses, but guess what? That's still you put Manny Pacquiao to this day to fight at the MGM Grand with a bum from the street. He will sell out the MGM Grand by
Yeah,
himself.
Yeah, that's
for
just like
sure.
Mike Tyson. They got that. There's very few, 1% of boxers got that kind of star pool. There's not a lot of men that can do that, and Manny's one of them.
That aura.
Yeah, it's you
Yeah,
can't take
bro.
that away from
Jake
Manny.
Paul. Yeah, you right. Jake Paul, one of them. He, what,
Floyd,
12 and
Floyd is
one?
the same.
And he fighting Mike Tyson? Jeez. Tank Davis he was about to fight? Yo, this guy.
Let me tell you, for a white dude that came off YouTube and Nickelodeon to live out his
Word.
dream that most men never would, always would have dreamed to fight Mike Tyson and fucking Mayweather, these two white dudes came up with enough money to entice our legends on a world stage and actually fight them. Yo, hats off to you dudes, bro. Fucking hats off to you for pulling that shit
Yo,
off.
word.
Not just that, but what they're doing in Puerto Rico with the youth, how they're helping out kids in the
Yeah,
gyms over there and everything. They're doing
yeah,
a lot of good stuff for boxing.
yeah.
Yeah, Amanda too. Like he took her career
No,
to another level.
I talked to you about this. I talked to you about this, and I said, yo, at the beginning, I thought Jake Paul was using Amanda, but the fact that he's brought her along every fight and he stood loyal to her, he sure that she came up and she's doing a lot for women boxing. Bro, I gotta give it to Jake Paul, man. He wasn't fake, bro. At the end of the day, he opened the gym out there and everything. And we see these white dudes come down and we quickly think he's running from America to buy land in Puerto Rico, not to pay taxes. And we think the
Hmm.
same, you know what I'm saying? But bro, did he really like stay there? Like he wasn't fake. And then I started
Mira,
slowly seeing that. I was like, oh shit, Jake Paul is
vamos a hablar
really like,
claro. Vamos a hablar claro. Ese no es el problema. El problema es que los puertorriqueños ahora ya no quieren ni vivir en Puerto Rico. That's what's going on. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans that they don't even want to live in Puerto Rico no more. And the fact that he did that, you can't blame him because he got a good deal on the line and he knows his business. He knows how to do his thing. You can't blame him. You know, and actually he used that to actually bring good economy back to Puerto Rico. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? So you can't take
and he's
nothing
doing
away
it.
from Mike.
And he's doing it for
Yeah.
boxing, man. He got a Netflix deal for boxing.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah. He
You
signed. He
got
just
it. You
signed a
know what I'm
bunch of women.
saying?
Like this
Yeah,
week, they just signed some more women.
yeah. With
Amanda's got her
Amanda.
company now.
Yo, let me
Yo,
tell
does
you something
anybody
about
know
that.
what's that Amazon deal going on with supposedly that it was going on with PVC and all that? I was like, what the heck is going on with that? That never happened,
I don't
never came
know.
through.
I just think it was always a distribution deal, and I think
Yeah, I
Amazon
got
wanted
it.
to
What I
see.
call it? Thank you, Ryan.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I just wanted to. They wanted to see how good they could do, but I just guess they haven't reached that threshold that where Amazon's like, yeah, we want you in.
Mm.
The money, they haven't let it go. But yeah,
Yo, man,
Netflix is in,
thank
so
you
that's
guys for
good.
having me. I'm gonna let you guys off, man. I love talking boxing with you guys, man.
Yes,
You guys know
sir.
what you're
Oh
talking
yeah,
about. God
oh
bless
yeah.
you guys, and then, dime.
Anytime, Joey.
Joey, bueno conocerte. Nice to meet you. If you ever, you know what I'm saying, want to talk boxing, I got a channel, Round One Sports Talk. Yo, you could always swing through, you know what I'm saying? Talk boxing. You know, I always love to talk with people that are passionate and real about the sport and honest with an unbiased, you know what I'm saying, like opinion, you know. So
No,
I have
aquí
no
estamos
ties.
de corazón, papá.
All right,
Aquí
baby.
estamos.
You know
Lo
what I'm
que
saying?
ocupen,
Yes,
me deja
Likewise.
sir.
saber.
Likewise.
And
And
then
this is
reach
my
out to
man
Ryan,
Frazier. I
anything.
met you here on his show, so you know what I mean? I don't know if
Yeah,
you just pulled up or
that's my
anything,
boy too.
but yo,
That's my boy Ryan.
he's
So
a
Yeah,
good dude,
man.
bro. Always pull up and show support. Hey yo, and everybody in the chat, man, please hit that, smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to this channel right here, Boxing Up North.
Yes, sir.
all right, guys.
Appreciate
God
you,
bless you
Joey.
guys. Have a good night.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
You too. Yeah, man. Oh shoot, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Shout out to Joey, man. Trinidad's
Yeah.
nephew, man.
Huh?
That's he's Trinidad's
That's
nephew.
who? That's
Felix
your dad's
Trinidad's
nephew?
nephew. Yeah,
Oh,
man.
Trinidad's nephew. Oh
Yeah,
shit, huh?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nah, he's a cool
Wow.
dude, man. Pops
Cool
up every
dude.
now and then. He's
Wow,
got a
I didn't
little
even put that
community.
together.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Me either. Until the first time I talked to him, I was like, "What?" He's like, "Yeah, man."
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, you know a legend." You know what
Yeah,
I'm
man.
saying? Felix
But there's a
Trinidad, one
lot
of
of
the
other
best.
there's a lot of other great fights too, man. This Jerron Boots and Stanionis in April, man. I'm a little
Yeah.
anxious to see that finally take place and Jerron Boots and start to really, fight the fights that we should have seen him fight a while ago. And
Right,
this
right.
Leonis fight, man. I just wanted to real quick before I hop off and say, like, want to ask your opinion. You think this is an
I
easy
like it.
fight for Drew?
No, no, no. It's gonna be his
Okay.
toughest fight. Definitely gonna be his toughest fight. And Stanionis, I think the thing I like about him is he's not afraid to get in there and get rough with you. And I think
Right.
he can, if he can make this fight not pretty, he's gonna
Right.
have a good chance to win the
Right.
fight. Because I think Boots Ennis, sometimes we seen him, it's not like he don't listen to his dad, but he goes rogue in some fights
Yeah.
where it seems like he wants to prove something. And I feel
Well,
like if
I
he
think I
goes
call
that
that
way,
playing into the crowd. He gets
yeah,
a
if he
little
goes that
lost
way, man,
if he
it
goes
could
that.
go
Yeah.
bad because Danny Onis he's an elite fighter.
Yeah, he knows about timing and placement and waiting for his shot. And
Hmm.
Stanionis makes reads. He, not all fighters make read or the highest level, but he can. I think that he's a definitely a worthy opponent, and I think that Stanionis is really dangerous. Little nervous for this fight for Jerron Boots Ennis, but I think that these are those kind of fights where you start to establish your legacy and your name, and you need these kind of fights under your belt. So I'm glad
Yeah.
that he's taking this fight on. And one more thing was, um, when we were talking about Subriel Matias and Richard Hitchinson, right?
Yeah.
I was saying to myself that in a good world, right, rather than Richard Hitchinson trying to fight George Camboza in New York, you should have fought Subriel Matias in New York with the Puerto Rican.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah,
you know what
that'd
I'm
be big.
saying? And then they would come out for Richardson because he's from New York, and on the
Hmm.
undercard, you could have put George Camboza against Liam Paro,
Right.
the two Australians,
Right.
to
Let them
to
go at it.
let them go at it to see who's Australia's star because they both need a win. You know what I'm saying? Rather than putting George Camboza against Richard Hitchinson and that way so forth, I would have took Subriel Matias in New York, got a good, got a good showing for it. I think they would have packed the house, and then put Liam Paro and George Camboza on the undercard. What do you think? That's what my opinion would have been.
Nah, I agree. I feel like yeah, they could have definitely built the fight for sure in New York because, like you said, the Rich is from there. He's from New
Right.
York, and then you
And
got
then the
Puerto
Puerto
Rico.
Ricans was
Yeah, so it makes sense probably logistic wise for sure. But you know what they're doing, man. They're just holding out,
I
hoping
know what
hoping
they do.
somebody can knock off Sabril or
Right.
now. But if Sabril's, I'm sure he just gotta win. But at the same time, don't take risky fights, bro. Just take good enough fights that'll just
Hmm.
keep you where you at. It's
Hmm.
unfortunate he's gonna have to do that, but this is this is boxing, man. That ring around the rosy is
And
what it
and
is.
one more thing. I don't think we've ever talked about this, me and you, straight up, right? And I
Hmm.
want to talk about the grease gate in Tank's eye, right? In the
Ah,
knee, right? I don't want to debate the rules on the
uh,
knee. I don't want to debate the rules on the knee or the disqualification
yeah.
for sticking his head out. I want to talk about any of that. I want to talk about something that I don't think even Tank Davis knew.
Hmm.
And in gyms, I've sparred in gyms, and I got kids coming in with long hair with braids, and this is what I really believe transpired. I just want to talk about this real quick, where the actual foul came into place. He did get grease in his eye. It just wasn't where he thought it came from. He thought it came
Mm.
from his braids and the chemicals, and it wasn't chemicals that got in his eyes. What got in his eyes was Vaseline, and the way it got there was from his glove. Every time
Mm.
he punched Lamont Roach in the face, Lamont Roach got Vaseline on his face. When he puts his hand back to the braid, it presses up against the braid, and the little rubber band knot collects
Yeah.
Vaseline. When the knot snapped back into his eye, he did get a oily substance, greasy substance in his eye, but it wasn't the chemical from his hair dye. And the way I determined that was when if it was chemicals, it would have burnt his eye. His eye would have been irritated, would have been red.
Yeah, in red. Yeah, yeah.
What is the one thing that can go in your eye in boxing that you're only a wipe away from having clear vision? Vaseline. That's why we use
Yeah.
it. You see, so
Yeah.
So the Vaseline got in his eye. When he wiped it, he didn't have to blink anymore or nothing, because that was just a regular Vaseline wipe.
Yeah, you're right. It would have been still.
Where it came from was from his glove. Tank thought it came from the chemicals in his hair, and once he said it, the world held him to it. I don't
Yo,
think
that's telling you, man.
I don't think he really realized where it came from. But since these things has happened in my gym, and kids with braids have snapped their braids in their eye and got grease, the Vaseline in their eyes before, I've experienced this.
Yeah, you know what it looks like. Yeah.
So I know what it looks like. But when Tank said it, he thought it really, because he didn't know where it came from.
Yeah.
You understand? But the grease was coming from Lamont Roach's face. Every time Tank hit him, the grease came on it, and then he put his hand like this.
Right.
And then
that's
where it came from. You see,
it was so bad because he said that.
Yes.
Bro, when he said that, I was like,
understand where it came from.
I'm like, bro, like this is why Floyd talks for him. It's why Floyd talks for him, because dudes have blood in their eyes and they still fighting. You got blood in your eyes, they're still fighting.
I understand. I didn't.
So,
look, what he did
and then
afterwards,
Gary Russell said he had the same issue in his fight. He said, I just waited till I got to the corner. He's like, I knew my eye was, so I just went on defense, waited the rest of the round out, got to the corner, said, yo, my eye's messed up, got it fixed up. Right, he didn't take the knee and run to the corner.
Right. So, I just, wanted to say that with you and stuff. And
yeah, I felt bad for Lamont.
I saw his situation, and I saw that he answered it wrong, and he didn't know
where
it came from, and she got blown up out of proportion.
Way out of proportion.
Yeah, and I was like, poor Tank. He has no idea where it came from neither, right? And he's like, man, it's got to be the chemical. It's got to be. And I'm just sitting here going, man. But anyway, look, Ryan, listen, I love chopping it up with you, but I think my family's here. And
yeah, man, I'm about to tap out too, brother.
Here. So I got to go. So listen, Ryan, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure. And
yeah,
I'll see you on the next one, brother.
Yeah, man. Peace. Salute to everybody. Thanks for tuning in, man. We got big fights tomorrow. Mikaela Mayer, Sandy Ryan 2 rematch going down, and William Zepeda and Tevin Farmer also another rematch. So it's definitely a day of rematches. Shout out to Tevin Farmer, man. I want to see him do well. I just don't think he'll win. Shout out to William Zepeda. And then we also got Mikaela Mayer. I think she's gonna win too. But yeah, smash that like button, y'all. Make sure y'all smash that like button, like my girl Ann Wolf.
Really fight her.
Oh, big one punch. That is it. Forget about the count. It is over.
Yeah, man. And for all you haters, man, peace.
Doing what I do. All white, looking nice. Okay, come through.
I don't know if Ryan Garcia is taking the fight